All right, guys, welcome back to the stream. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome if you are new. Thank you so much for joining me today. And thank you, as always, for waiting patiently for the show to begin. We have some pretty interesting topics. Not many topics to go over today, but certainly some interesting ones. We're talking about GTA 6. No, this is not a rumor. This is not a leak. We've spent pretty much an entire decade of dealing with GTA 6 rumors, leaks, the whole nine yards. Today, we actually have an official announcement from Rockstar Games. An announcement of an announcement, if you will, but certainly more than enough to get people very excited and very worked up. So we're going to talk all about that. We're going to do a deep dive discussion on GTA 6, the trailer that's going to be coming, and just kind of talking a little bit about Rockstar Games, the impact that this game is going to make, inevitably. We're also going to be going over a small update regarding the situation with PlayStation removing Twitter from the PS5 and PS4, or X, formerly known as Twitter. It seems like Elon Musk may actually be stepping in to do something about this, which I think would be great news for sure. Because again, there were quite a few people upset to find out about that. And we're also going to be talking about a surprising team up where Sony and Nintendo are teaming up for a Zelda movie. So not a game, but still something very significant between both of these companies, especially when you consider that Sony is pursuing their own endeavors with PlayStation Productions making movies. So we'll talk about that as well. So again, like I said, not many topics, but certainly some interesting ones here. And before I actually kick off these topics and dive into it, I want to let you guys know a couple of ways you can help support the channel, help support the content. As I always tell you, it is your direct support that makes these streams possible, that allows me to run this channel and pursue the passion of talking about gaming. And yeah, I really do appreciate it. First, I'll acknowledge that Jake Skew27 has gifted a channel membership. Guys, let's get some W's in the chat for Jake Skew. Really appreciate that. It's a nice way for me to kind of segue into the three ways you can support the content. Number one, consider becoming a channel member. You gain access to some exclusive perks, and it's a great way to support me directly. If you are already a channel member, even if it was gifted to you, you also have the ability to gift channel memberships yourself. It's a big thing we do here on the channel, and there are many generous member gifters here. So if you choose to do that, thank you so much. And last but not least, you can consider donating a super chat, ask a question, give an opinion, make a statement, everything in between. It's a great way to keep the conversation flowing in different and potentially very interesting, unexpected directions, but a great way for you to support me as well. So yeah, to everybody who supports me directly, you know who you are. Thank you so much. It really does mean everything. You guys are the sponsors of the channel. And Jake,
thank you.
That's for you, man. Thanks again. You're saying my cat looks fat. I should be playing with him more. Actually, he doesn't seem fat to me. He's just a big cat, dude. He is. Maybe when he's laying down, he looks a little bit fatter, but he doesn't, I don't overfeed them. So if he's he's a weird cat. He eats stuff he's not supposed to. He'll eat plastic. We got to be careful what we leave lying around because he'll just eat anything. So I don't know, maybe he's eating things I'm not aware of and it is making him fat. I'm not sure, but yeah, I don't know what he decided to leave. I don't know why. I'm beginning to think it might be the light that I'm using because I don't know. I did move it over today. I've been theorizing that the brightness of this light that I'm using might be deterring him and, making him seek out a different spot to sleep, but maybe he'll return. Anyway, we're going to start here with the update on Twitter. I do want to dive into GTA 6, but if I don't get this out of the way now, I might not get to it. So I just want to give this update to everybody. This is being reported by Push Square. They say Sony is set to turn off Twitter integration on its PS5 and PS4 systems next week, but it's possible site owner Elon Musk may step in and try to stop the move. In response to a Twitter news coverage profile complaining about the decision, which has already taken effect on Xbox consoles, he said, quote, "I will look into this," end quote. The SpaceX Tesla face says a lot of things on the social media site, so whether something actually comes of this is up in the air, but Elon Musk is aware of Sony's decision. Once integration with Twitter is disabled on Monday, November 13th, 2023, PS5 and PS4 owners will no longer have the ability to upload captured screenshots and videos directly from their consoles. Workarounds include using the PlayStation app on your smartphone or transferring your pictures and clips to a USB stick and then uploading them to Twitter via a PC. So you still do have the ability to do this, even if this integration does go away. But obviously, it's more cumbersome. It's not as seamless, certainly not as seamless. But yeah, I had to give you guys this update where Elon Musk is acknowledging this directly. I honestly wasn't expecting that. It seems like he may care enough to actually consider working something out with Sony and PlayStation. I don't know if Sony is going to want to make that deal with him, but I think the only way we'll see this decision reversed by Sony is if essentially Elon is like, okay, we'll charge you way less than what we were going to charge you, or very minimal fee for using the Twitter API on PlayStation. Yeah, that's true. Elon Musk seems to be struggling with Twitter, or I don't know. Do I call it X? I still can't decide. I'm just gonna call it Twitter. He's still struggling with Twitter, and it's just seems like it was financially, it was just not a wise thing for him to do, and he's obviously trying to make as much money as he can. So I don't know. X sounds dumb. It does. It really I really do not understand the decision making behind it. You could rename Twitter anything. I don't think Twitter's a bad name at all. But I could understand why, if you're going to buy it to own it, maybe you have this dream of renaming it. But X, I mean, at least Microsoft, they're like Xbox, something that makes sense, right? But just X, it's like, that's weak, man. I'm sorry, but that's weak as hell. But there you go. There you go. That's the small update I have for you regarding this situation. If anything comes of it, if we hear more from Sony or from Elon Musk regarding this, I'll be sure to update you guys on that. I'm now going to move into talking about the Sony and Nintendo partnership here. I am just going to save the GTA topic for last because I have the most to say about that. Although I do have certainly some things to say about the Nintendo-Sony team up here. So it says Sony and Nintendo team up for Zelda movie being reported by PlayStation Lifestyle. Nintendo has teamed up with Sony Pictures Entertainment to develop a live-action movie based on The Legend of Zelda. Sony is co-financing the project with more than 50% of the contribution coming from Nintendo. As part of the deal, Sony will retain exclusive theatrical distribution rights for the Zelda movie, which will be co-produced by Arad Productions Incorporated and directed by Wes Ball. Nintendo's Shigeru Miyamoto will also be involved in the project. By producing visual contents of Nintendo IP by itself, Nintendo is creating new opportunities to have people from around the world to access the world of entertainment, which Nintendo has built through different means apart from its dedicated game consoles, reads a press release by Sony Pictures and Nintendo. By getting deeply involved in the movie production with the aim to put smiles on everyone's faces through entertainment, Nintendo will continue its efforts to produce unique entertainment and deliver it to as many people as possible. Sony Pictures has been strengthening its entertainment business and continues to expand into the video game world. Considering the popularity of Zelda, this is a major deal that will significantly bolster Sony Pictures' portfolio. And so that's kind of there are two big takeaways from this, right? Well, maybe three. The first and most obvious is they're making a live-action Zelda movie. Okay, so that's the biggest one. Obviously, it's going to star Tom Holland. The second big takeaway is the fact that Sony and Nintendo are actually collaborating here in a pretty significant way. I mean, I don't want to say Sony and Nintendo have come off as rivals in recent memory, but we know that at the beginning of PlayStation, I mean, the only reason PlayStation even exists in the first place is because of a falling out between Nintendo and Sony when they were actually going to make a console called, I think, the Nintendo PlayStation. And there was kind of this falling out over whether the console should be disc-based or cartridge-based or whatever. And I'd have to look into it further to get all the details. But, PlayStation was born out of Sony wanting to honestly get back at Nintendo. And I think that they succeeded because they found immense success in their endeavors, as we know. But since then, we haven't really seen Sony and Nintendo collaborate in any really major significant ways, at least not that I can think of off the top of my head. And so to see Sony coming in and being like, hey, you guys want to make this live action Zelda movie? We have expertise in this area. We're doing it for our own IPs and our own games. Let's see if we can work something out here. And the third big takeaway for me here is what the end of this article says, how because of the popularity of Zelda, because this movie is going to, I mean, look, I don't want to call it too early, but I think it's safe to say this movie, when it does come out, is going to clean up at the box office, make a ton of money, and do incredibly well. Yeah, I think this is going to be a win-win situation. And you do have to kind of wonder. Sorry, my cats are going absolutely apeshit over there, fighting each other, being very, I don't know if it's coming through the mic, but it's extremely distracting. If you guys could stop, thanks. And anyway, you do have to wonder, you really do have to wonder, you can hear them, that's funny as hell. You do have to wonder if this is going to lead to a potential future collaboration with video games of some kind with Nintendo and Sony. I mean, this is significant. The potential implications of Sony and Nintendo shaking hands, coming together. I don't know, man. It gets you thinking. It's coming at a very interesting time too. I know that it's just for a movie, but this is how these things start. This could be the beginning of a newfound partnership between Nintendo and Sony, and it's impossible to tell how far it could go. But the timing of it is interesting because we're talking about industry consolidation. We're talking about the idea of other juggernaut corporations getting involved in the gaming industry, outside forces coming in. I mean, this to me seems like it could be a pretty smart move where it's the beginning of Nintendo and Sony coming together here. And yeah, it's something I think we might want to pay attention to and see where it leads. But at the very least, they are working together on this Zelda movie, and it's a great partnership. I agree. I think it is. I mean, when you think about the way in which Sony and Nintendo would come together, this makes perfect sense. It does, and I think it's going to be good for Sony overall because Sony Pictures, I don't know, I think Sony Pictures can be pretty hit or miss at times, but they have some big hits, and I just think that this is something that Sony's like, yeah, look, man, let's not look at these guys as competition in this sense, but let's help them out. Because anything that Sony does to try to help out the Zelda movie, right, and Nintendo's IP in this space, it's not going to hurt their own efforts with what they try to do with their movies and their TV shows. So, yeah, that's true. That's true, Josh. It's Sony Pictures, not PlayStation Productions. Yeah, that wouldn't make any sense, I think, right? Like if it was announced that PlayStation Productions is going to be distributing and working on, I mean, that wouldn't make any sense because it's like that kind of directly interferes. The PlayStation Productions is simply for PlayStation intellectual property, right? So, yeah. But good call out, Josh. I actually did forget to separate those two. But there you go. I just wanted to relay this news to you guys, let you know that this is something that's happening. And I think people are going to be eager to learn about the casting decisions. And right now it seems like Tom Holland is in the running to play. I think I said, what did I say, Zelda earlier? Yeah, Tom Holland's going to play Zelda. Tom Holland will play Link. I think that's what people are assuming at this point. Or, Chris Pratt is going to show up somewhere as well. So there you go. Now, with that being said, we're going to move on to the, believe it or not, it is the final topic of the stream already because, again, not many topics today. But, man, this is a doozy of a topic. Certainly something I want to talk to you guys about. And that is GTA 6. It is official. I'm going to bring up this image here. This is the official tweet from Rockstar Games. This tweet is obviously blowing up. Let me actually go tell you guys what the numbers are on this tweet because it's probably going to set some kind of record. See if I can find it. Matt on Rockstar Games. It's funny because it's a string of 3 tweets. And what's so weird about it is that, wow, 66 million. Guys, 66 million. You got to be kidding me. This can't be real. 66 million views on this Rockstar Games tweet. What is happening, man? What is happening? My mind is blown. I'm sure that'll change any moment now because that's just how rapidly this tweet is going up. But what I was trying to say is there's a string of 3 tweets here. The first tweet has 17 million impressions and views. The second has 6.2 million. And the third one is the one. It's the big one because it's the one where they actually let us know that the trailer is coming in December. But it already has over 950,000 likes. Obviously, it's going to get over 1 million likes. It's got 40,000 replies. I mean, it is just, you can already see like what this game is doing with nothing even happening, right? Like they're just saying like, we're going to release a trailer. I mean, it's crazy. We have Cypherpunk with a super chat. Thank you so much for that, buddy. You're saying Rockstar always releases their games within 1 year of announcements. Teaser trailer, then a longer one, followed by deep dives. Late 2024 release. That's something else we are going to be discussing, Cypherpunk, because there's apparently now, there are some sources claiming that right now the release is going to be set for 2025. But what you're saying, I think, makes more sense. I do think that they're more likely to want to go for a 2024 release. It could be something that's up in the air, but we're definitely going to talk about that as we go further into the information here. We have another super chat from Cody D is what I'll call you. Thank you for that, buddy. You're saying, what do you expect from the reveal trailer? And in terms of sales, could this game be the biggest game ever? Big fan. Keep it up. Well, thank you so much for that, man. Great questions. Well, my expectation for the reveal trailer itself is going to be no gameplay, or if there is any gameplay shown off in the trailer, it's going to be like just 1 to 2 second cuts and only maybe like 1 or 2 of them kind of like placed randomly in the trailer. My expectation, though, is that the first trailer is going to focus on introducing the characters, introducing, where it takes place, and showing off the world, basically, and just kind of giving you the wider view. And I will say the one thing I hope it isn't, because, man, it would be, I don't think they could do this without making everybody very upset, because they basically already did it, kind of. The one thing they could do is just a logo and a release window. That would suck. They could get away with it, though, and say that was our first trailer. Basically just a teaser trailer. I will say I'm not expecting something like that, because that would defeat the purpose of them telling people, yeah, we're going to release our first trailer. Like, it's very rare, in my opinion, that you can make an announcement of an announcement and it be completely justified. In this case, it is completely justified. letting people know this is when we're dropping the GTA 6 trailer. It's one of these things where it's an event moment. So yeah, it is justified. But if you do that to then release just a logo teaser, I mean that's going to suck. Straight up. Like that's going to disappoint people immensely, and I think it would cause some problems. So, yeah, my expectation with this reveal trailer is to simply get a overview of the game, get an idea of what the game is going to be. I think everybody already has an idea, but again, just showing off the graphics, showing off some of the locations, introducing a couple of the characters, setting up maybe a bit of a plot. Being it's an announcement of another announcement. That's what's going to happen. Again, they could do that. I mean, I don't want to say it's not possible, because it definitely is. They could do that and get away with it. Rockstar has the power to do pretty much anything right now with GTA 6. And, they could face a little bit of blowback, but it's like it won't matter. So, yeah, they're playing 4D chess here. So, Cody, the second question you ask here, in terms of sales, could this be the biggest game ever? Yes, it could. I mean, the hype for GTA 6 is, I'm just not sure of any other game that is going to have this level of hype behind it. I mean, I genuinely mean that. Maybe there are a select few other games out there, but off the top of my head, I cannot think of anything. I mean, I'm not saying it's going to like just surpass Minecraft and sell over 300 million. In its lifetime, it could. Absolutely. In its lifetime, it could. But in terms of just the amount of attention this game is going to get, the amount of attention this trailer is going to get, the amount of day one sales this game is going to get, I mean, at the very least, I am ready for it to break some significant records. And, you're saying, could it be the biggest game ever? It could be. It has that potential. I don't want to lock it in and say, yes, GTA 6 will be the biggest game ever. It's going to take, many years to know that. But what I do feel confident in saying is that it has a really good chance. Yes, it's in a prime position where if they play their cards right and if they deliver on what people are expecting in a big way, yeah, it absolutely could. I mean, it could climb that ladder rapidly, and it would be, it wouldn't be shocking, frankly. It wouldn't be shocking. It's very rare that we see games like GTA 6 like it's very rare we see a game come along that has this type of momentum behind it. That's what I'm trying to say. It's very rare we see that. And with the big expectations comes the potential of a big disappointment, but I don't think anybody's anticipating disappointment with GTA 6. It is too big to fail. It wouldn't fail no matter what, but the expectations are wild. They are. The expectations for this game are wild, and I have no doubt that Rockstar is well aware of this, that Take-Two is aware of this, but we'll have to see. So, Cody, I appreciate the super chat, man, and definitely some good questions. We have Easy E with a $5 super chat. Appreciate it, buddy. You're saying, MBG, do you think the story will be more in line with the old Project Americas, Narcos-inspired rumor, or the rumors based on the recent leaks? So the Project Americas leak, I feel like I remember this, where it's like you can almost go across the entire United States. Like they're going to have different areas you can go to that are basically different states. You're saying Narcos inspired. I mean, I could see it going in that direction, but the thing I'm not sure of is the new rumor that you're saying, like the recent leaks. I know that there are like two characters that have leaked out. I forget their names. It's a guy and a girl, and I think they like I don't know if they rob banks or something, but they like work together. Kind of like a Bonnie and Clyde type thing. But I'm more inclined to believe the more recent ones. Yeah, it is seemingly going to be set in Vice City. That I think has been confirmed. And it'll be interesting to see what that turns out to be like. Um, I mean, I think one of the biggest things that people are eager to learn about GTA 6 is what this story is going, like how significant is this single player going to be? What is this story going to be? Because again, the expectations, we're coming off of Red Dead Redemption 2, right? GTA 5 I think was really good, but Red Dead Redemption 2 was incredible. So there are very high expectations, and knowing that we very, very rarely get single player Rockstar games anymore, I think people really want to know, like, how significant is this single player going to be? Because one thing we do know is GTA Online is going to be very significant. We do know that. We know that GTA Online is going to be their bread and butter and their moneymaker, their cash cow, whatever you want to call it. So we know that's going to get a lot of love and attention. But I think the thing people are really going to be focused on is, how much better, how much more significant could this GTA 6 storyline be than GTA 5's and previous GTA games? Because people really like GTA 4, they really like GTA 5, but I mean, it's been, again, nearly a decade. I think it has been a decade. So, yeah, it'll be over a decade by the time it comes out. $1,000 card bundles. I mean, I'm open. I'm keeping an open mind when it comes to GTA Online. I'm not going to jump to any conclusions. I'm not going to just jump to the conclusion that GTA Online is going to be terrible or this new iteration of it, or that it's going to be something I might be interested in it. I did play the original GTA Online, but it really did just become, I don't know. I don't want to say unfun. It just seemed like the stuff that they were adding to the game, I wasn't that interested in. I mean, it was really cool when they added like the big heist missions and stuff and some of the other missions. Like I did appreciate that, but I don't know. I just fell off of it, frankly. You're saying Take-Two have had awful earnings for 2 years now? They needed money. Are you sure? I haven't been following Take-Two's earnings, but are you sure? I thought GTA Online basically just made them infinite money. or that it wasn't slowing down. Maybe I'm wrong. I have another super chat here from Cypherpunk, which I very much appreciate, buddy. You're saying it's going to suck for the console gamers with it likely being 30 FPS. Can't wait for the PC version. Also, hopefully Rockstar doesn't go completely woke. I doubt they will, man. Like I know that they've lost a lot of the founders and a lot of the individuals who have been responsible for the previous GTA games, but like this, like what makes a GTA game is, it has to be satirical to an extent. I think. I mean, if they wanted to go dead serious with it, where it's like there's not going to be any satire here, I think it would be really, really risky. I think they could get away with it, and if they handled it right, I mean, but no, I think they're going to have to have some jokes. I mean, that's the big question, right? Like the big question is how far are they going to go with it? Are they going to hold back? I think there was like that rumor where like they're not gonna punch down anymore. It's like, listen, I don't care. I never minded them punching down as long as they're punching down at everybody. I think that's kind of the rule that everybody's okay with, right? Like if you're gonna punch down, you have to make fun of everybody. Then you have to punch down at everybody. You can't just be selective about it. And I think GTA has always done a pretty good job. Kind of reminds me of South Park a little bit, where it's like they cover everything, So it's like if you're somebody who's offended by something they're doing, well, guess what? Everybody's going to be offended then. Like you're not the only one. So at that point, it's like everybody should just probably look at each other and be like, well, okay, that's just what they're doing, As long as they're not picking and choosing. I think that's what people would like to see with GTA 6, and that is going to be a big question. I will tell you this though. They can do whatever they want with this game, and they'll be fine. You're saying GTA dies when comedy dies. I mean, like I said, man, this game is too big to fail. So whatever changes they may have made, and we don't know if they've made any, but if they have, made significant changes where it's like this game's going to be a lot less funny than the previous games, or maybe they do make decisions that people are like, wow, this feels like this isn't really what GTA is. It won't matter. And I don't say that lightly because I think for a lot of other games it would matter. I think for a lot of other IPs it would matter. But for GTA 6, it will not matter. That game is going to be a smash hit, guaranteed. And they would have to go pretty far out of their way, I think, to I think I agree with you, BB12. You're saying Red Dead 2's humor was pretty good. Arthur was sarcastic a lot. I really, really, really loved Red Dead Redemption 2's story. It's one of my favorite of all time. Arthur Morgan, obviously one of the greatest characters ever written, ever created. I mean, he feels like a real person that lived. It's very impressive what they did. Obviously, I do expect GTA 6 to be a little bit, well, not a little bit, a lot more silly in many ways than Red Dead, because that again, that's kind of in GTA's DNA. But I don't know. I saw what Rockstar did with Max Payne 3, right? Max Payne 3 was a serious story. It was a serious game. I mean, of course, there was still that kind of sarcasm there from Max Payne, right? Bit of sarcasm and self-loathing. But Max Payne 3 was a more serious story, and it revealed to me that like they could take that kind of approach if they wanted, and I think it would work out well. But it really comes down to the characters. Like, we have no idea what these characters are going to be like. So, we'll see. Saying Red Dead 2 teared you up a little bit. Yeah, man, it was an awesome game. You mentioned 30 FPS. That's another thing. I am ready for GTA 6 to be 30 FPS. I am. The real question I have is, this game is seemingly going to come out when the PS5 Pro comes out, or when the PS5 Pro will be out. So the main question I have is it going to be a situation where it's locked at 30 frames per second on the base model PS5, but if you're playing it on the Pro, you do get a 60 FPS performance mode? Or is it going to be a situation where the game is so advanced that even the Pro version still has to run at 30? You'll just have a higher resolution or better ray tracing or both? And that'll be interesting to see. Will Rockstar Games... It's a great question. Will Rockstar make the GTA 6 online bigger than the single player component? I'm going to say no. It'll be big, but they can't make it bigger because they're going to be treating the online... I'm assuming it's going to be a new, like, completely new version of the online, like GTA Online 2. They will have a significant amount of content at launch, but not more than the single player, because they're going to need to save that content to roll it out in the coming months. They'll be able to be light on the content for GTA Online 2 at launch because they have this entire single player package that they're giving you. So there isn't really this need to ensure that GTA Online 2 at launch has the most amount of content. You know what I want to find out about GTA 6 is the combat mechanics. I did mention Max Payne 3. Max Payne 3, I mean, I love the Max Payne games, but Max Payne 3 in particular is one of my favorite games of all time because, dude, it had, in my opinion, the best shooting mechanics of any game I've ever played. First person or third person. I mean, it was immaculate. It was the best I'd ever played, honestly, and I haven't played something like it since. I even played the online multiplayer component of Max Payne 3, and it was so fun. And I remember GTA 5 came out after Max Payne 3, and GTA 5's mechanics are good, obviously, but man, they were such a major step back. And I understand why, because it's not like, it's not like every person or every character in GTA is suddenly going to play like Max Payne, as I spit everywhere. I know why they couldn't do that, but it did still feel like a step back nonetheless. What? You're saying Max Payne 3 was a disgrace to the Max Payne series? What? Please elaborate. Please elaborate, because I do not feel that way at all. I'm curious why you feel that way. That was Max Payne 3 is incredible. I love that game, dude. This, you guys are saying the story. I mean, the story definitely went in some interesting directions, but I enjoyed it, man. I enjoyed it. I just thought everything about it was so well done. Whoa, what is going on here? It looked like somebody named Anthony. I don't know if they became a member or had a milestone chat, but now it's been removed. That's strange. It just says there's a blank profile picture. It says member for 4 months. I don't know what happened here. Yeah, I don't know what happened. Sorry about that. I don't know if Anthony, you have to let us know in the chat if something glitched out, man. Did he get timed out? I don't think so. No, it doesn't say he did. No. I don't. You're saying Anthony says, my bad, I sent it blank. Oh, it's all good, man. I appreciate you letting me know, though, because I was really curious what happened there. The Max Payne movie was mid. Dude, the Max Payne movie was not good, I think. Again, Mark Wahlberg is Max Payne? Really? That's the best you guys could do. Mark Wahlberg as Max Payne. I don't think so. I do not think so. No offense to Mark Wahlberg, but no. Dude, I think a lot of people in this chat right now either A, didn't even know there was a Max Payne movie, or B, completely forgot there was a Max Payne movie. I completely forgot there was. Techie6, a member for 5 months, says, imagine VR support for GTA 6. It will never happen, but man, that would be crazy. That would be insane. That would be insane. I'm not expecting it either, but if Sony could somehow get Rockstar to do it, just some kind of VR version where you can play the game in first person or something, I mean, that would sell a crazy amount of PSVR 2 headsets. That would single-handedly guarantee the success of a PlayStation VR 2. No doubt about it. We'll have to see if anything like that happens. I'm assuming it won't, but you never know. You never know. Clearly, it had to be Pedro Pascal as Max Payne. I mean, he would be better than Mark Wahlberg. I mean, he's too old now, I think, but he would be better than Mark Wahlberg. Like Mark Wahlberg, he plays a certain type of character in his movies, and it just is nothing like Max Payne's character. Like, just not even a little. Even just the facial expressions he makes. Like, Mark Wahlberg always has this kind of facial expression where he's like, you know, like he just looks like irritated by something. And Max Payne, I mean, of course he has, I guess, that face. He makes that face sometimes, like, you know, the Sam Lake face like this, but it just, I don't know, it just doesn't. You could have got Sam Lake, you know? You could have just got Sam Lake to play Max Payne in the movie and it would have been better. Yeah, that's what I was trying to get at. Mark Wahlberg looks angry and confused all the time. Damn, we're starting to just hate on Mark Wahlberg now. I didn't mean for it to go in that direction. John Bernthal? No, I still can't see John. Even somebody like John Bernthal, I can't see as Max Payne because he's too unhinged. I mean, he's like, you know, he was good as the Punisher, but he's good at like unhinged, kind of just like insane characters. And again, I don't think that's Max Payne. Al Pacino is Zelda. Josh Brolin. Yes. Josh Brolin would be perfect. Like, I'm actually thinking about his role in No Country for Old Men. It's not exactly similar, but he just has that kind of energy, you know, just that kind of demeanor. I think Max Payne has a very specific demeanor. Mel Gibson, maybe like a younger Mel Gibson. Yeah, definitely. Mickey Rourke. Oh yeah, Mickey Rourke too. Yeah, these are all good picks. These are all good picks, I think. I think they're all too old now, obviously, but all three of those picks make more sense than Mark Wahlberg. Cal effing Kestis. Tom Hardy, maybe. Yeah, I could see him. Anyway, I got way off track there. I guess I have Max Payne on the mind right now because I'm playing Alan Wake 2. And anybody who's been playing Alan Wake 2, you know that game is definitely evoking some Max Payne vibes. Certainly. Jake, you're saying without knowing the games, I thought the Max Payne movie was okay. It wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen, but it just, I don't know. I could not get over Mark Wahlberg. Warden with a $2 super chat. He says GTA 6 will have performance and fidelity settings. It would be, to me, that would be surprising. To be totally honest with you. I mean, I know that's what we are conditioned to expect now from most AAA games, if not all of them, is a performance and fidelity mode. But I mean, I'm just thinking like, dude, if Starfield couldn't have a performance mode on console and had to be locked at 30, I have a difficult time imagining GTA 6. But then again, maybe, I mean, Rockstar, they are very, no offense to Bethesda, but Rockstar is very, very, very skilled. Like maybe they could make it happen. You know, maybe they could make it happen. Why is MBG a fake gamer? Fake gamer. What does that even, to be honest, I don't know what that means, man. Like what, I've been seeing people throw that term around. What is a fake gamer? Is that somebody who pretends to enjoy video games or pretends to play video games? What is a fake gamer? It wasn't oh, here we go. Bringing up Matrix 4 again. It wasn't Matrix 4 level of bad. No, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. It means your controller's unplugged. A person that talks about games but doesn't play them. There are definitely games I talk about that I don't play, but most of the time, I'd say like 80 to 90% of the times, the games that I'm talking about, I'm playing or plan to play, certainly. Well, okay, maybe not 80 or 90%, because then I'm thinking about it. When we talk about other platforms, right? If I talk about Nintendo or if I talk about Microsoft, I'm not really playing their games. So I guess that percentage is too high. But yeah, I mean, I'll tell you guys games I play and games I don't play. Hugh Jackman in Logan is basically Max Payne and Max Payne 3. Yeah, just, you know, aside from the rage scenes, like where he's like ultra rage, because that's I agree with you. That kind of sullen, you know, depression. Yeah. I thought Max Payne 3 was amazing. I see that Anthony O says Max Payne 3 is an absolute masterpiece. I'm in agreement, dude. I am. I'm very excited to see what Remedy does with the Max Payne 1 and 2 remake. That's going to be fun. MBG's best quote, never played it, never enjoyed it. Yeah, that one came out the wrong way. That's an amazing quote. Should I put that on a shirt or a mug? Would that be worth putting on a shirt or a mug? Never played it, never enjoyed it. What do you guys think about this? What do you guys think about putting on a mug or a shirt, discs, not downloads? Would you guys buy that? A shirt or a mug that says discs, not downloads? Because I know there's a lot of you guys like that. If you like that, my wife came up with that one. Because some of you guys were asking me like, when are you going to do merch or anything like that? And I was trying to think of some stuff to do. Maybe we'll go with that one. My wife thought of that. I thought that was a pretty good one. Discs, not downloads. She's smart. Yeah, she's smarter than me. Yeah, she's good at coming up with stuff like that. I'm over here thinking like, should I put milkification on a mug? I'm like, nah, I don't know. I don't think that sounds too good. MBG, this GTA YouTuber named The Professional said that Rockstar Games / Take-Two announced GTA 6 to drive up Take-Two stocks. I don't really agree with that, but what do you think about that? I mean, I do agree somewhat, because it's like they know that as soon as they say anything publicly about GTA 6, yeah, the stock's going to go up. It's going to drive the stocks. You know, it's going to excite the shareholders. So I don't know that that's exactly the single reason, like that's why we're doing it now, but I think it does add up to a degree. Certainly. Milkification should be a mug. You think so? I'll think about it. All right, let's see. You're saying look at the announcement. It wasn't even really a true announcement. You know, now that I'm thinking about it, the timing of this is also interesting, because people were going nuts talking about how, oh, they're going to announce GTA 6 in October. We're going to get the first trailer in October. And I mean, the rumors and the expectations reached a fever pitch the week of October 24th, and nothing ever happened. I do wonder if that could have caused some shareholders to feel a little bit nervous themselves. Like, when are they going to announce it? And I don't know. Maybe they did do it now, because it's basically a month early. It is a month early, you know? Maybe there is a little bit more to that. John D with a $5 super chat. Thank you for that, buddy. You're saying, do you think we might get a teaser before the trailer for GTA 6? No, I don't think so. I think if the teaser is just the logo telling you when to tune in, because here's the big thing right now. Everybody is assuming, they're saying, oh, early December, that has to be the Game Awards. The Game Awards are happening, I think, on December 7th. So about a month from now. But if they're not doing if they're not revealing the trailer at the Game Awards, that means they're going to do it on their own terms. And if they're going to do it on their own terms, they're probably, I mean, I don't know, they could put out like a smaller, like 10-second trailer revealing the logo and basically telling you the exact day and time that they're going to, drop the trailer. They could do something like that. That would be certainly a way to do it, but everybody right now seems to be assuming that Jeff Keighley. See, I don't know if I believe that Jeff Keighley getting the announcement for GTA 6. Maybe it's possible. It is possible, because, dude, the Game Awards has been climbing every year, getting more and more and more and more viewership. See, what I think, if Jeff Keighley did get the GTA 6 reveal, what I think they should do as a marketing stunt is, at some point during maybe like after the GTA 6 reveal, Jeff starts talking, and then somebody runs up on stage, right? Somebody runs up on stage, and then Jeff just pulls out a gun and shoots him, and then it's just like, everybody in that moment is thinking like, holy shit, what just happened? It'd be a great way, I think, to promote the game, because everybody believes that somebody's going to interfere with the Game Awards again. And Jeff doesn't want that to happen. Yeah, the Bill Clinton guy, yeah. It's going to happen again. Imagine that's how they promote GTA 6, Jeff just like straight up shoots a man, looks at the camera and says, I warned you, I warned you. But it would have to close the show. That's the thing. It would have to close the show, because you have to let people, like, of course it's a stunt, right? It's not real. It's a stunt. But you would have to leave everybody in that limbo for a little bit to wonder, like, oh my God, was that real? I mean, think about the publicity that would get, man. It's genius. They should hire me. Jeff, hire me. I'll help market your show. I'm just kidding. That would be the most disastrous thing. That would end his career. But But I don't know if GTA 6 is going to turn up at the Game Awards, truthfully. It's a 50-50 thing for me. 50-50 thing. No, yeah, there's no way anybody would ever agree to something like that. I mean, you know what? Maybe what's more realistic is if Jeff pulled out a baseball bat and like, you know, destroyed somebody's knee, like the person that came up, took his microphone, Jeff walks off stage. You know, the person at on the mic. You know what? He could even hire the guy that did it last year. That would be perfect. Hire him to come back, do it again. Jeff runs off stage, comes out with a baseball bat, smashes his kneecaps, takes the mic. There you go, man. That'd be the perfect way to announce GTA. Anyway, what are we talking about again? But John D, I do appreciate the super chat, man, and we could definitely get a teaser. We could. I wouldn't be shocked if we did. God of War DLC and Elden Ring DLC and GTA 6. It sounds too good to be true. In my opinion. It sounds too good to be true. What do I think the chances are the game's going to be $100 for the standard edition? They could get away with it. They could get away with it, but I think zero chance. I think it's going to be a $70 game. Jeff is traumatized. I mean, he probably is, man. He probably is. It happened twice. You know somebody's planning something. He knows somebody's planning something. So you have to assume he upped the security this time. Keanu Reeves announces GTA 6. Now that would be a way to announce it. Yeah. That's probably the smarter way to go about it. He's not even in the game. He's not even in GTA 6. We just got Keanu Reeves. It's kind of like when they brought in Al Pacino to award Christopher Judge for Kratos, and then Al Pacino was looking around like, my knees are going to give out. You're making me stand here for a 10-minute speech. Are you kidding me? God, man, the game awards are such a disaster in some ways. It's kind of incredible. It's amazing. I kind of love it because it really speaks to what the gaming industry is. You know, like I love this idea that this award show wants so badly to be taken seriously, but there's just so many things that happen over the course of that show that stop it from ever being taken seriously. It's amazing. And it just exists in this kind of limbo, in this weird, unique spot that only the video game awards can exist in. And I love that. So the real question I have is this for the Game Awards, and we'll talk more about the Game Awards as we get closer to it. But the real question I have is it going to be another 3.5 hour show? Right? That's the question. Guess we'll find out. I always feel like that goes on a little bit too long. All right, let's see. We got Sam the Apollo Wolf with a $5 super chat. Thank you for that, Sam. You're saying young Bruce Willis as Max Payne. Max Payne 3 and its soundtrack are, I think you meant to say, top tier. I have doubts about GTA 6 due to what happened with the Saints Row reboot. I think it's fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with having doubts about GTA 6. I think that's a smarter thing to do, if I'm being honest, because, like, in my opinion, GTA 6 is definitely going to live up in many ways to the excitement. But if you go in with lower expectations, all the better. All the better. You'll just be even more impressed than you would have been if you went in with high expectations. So I think that's fine. I don't know that I agree with that because of what happened to Saints Row. I mean, it's just my gut reaction to that take is I don't think they're comparable even a little bit. Yeah, I don't think they're even remotely comparable. But I can kind of understand where you're getting that from, Sam. But I think it'll be fine. I think GTA 6 will be just fine. But young Bruce Willis as Max Payne. Yeah. And if I'm not mistaken, for Max Payne 3, didn't they got like Health, I think, to make the soundtrack for that game? Like, I think they specifically sought them out. You know, I just realized I didn't read the actual... Damn it. I didn't even read the actual tweet from Rockstar Games. Let me read this to you. I apologize. I should have read this like 30 minutes ago. Rockstar Games says next month marks the 25th anniversary of Rockstar Games, thanks to the incredible support of our players worldwide. We've had the opportunity to create games we are truly passionate about. Without you, none of this would be possible, and we are so grateful to all of you for sharing this journey with us. In 1998, Rockstar Games was founded on the idea that video games could come to be as essential to culture as any other form of entertainment, and we hope that we have created games you love in our efforts to be part of that evolution. We are very excited to let you know that in early December, we will release the first trailer for the next Grand Theft Auto. We look forward to many more years of sharing these experiences with all of you. Thanks, Sam Hauser. So there you go, man. That's exactly what Rockstar Games said. Early December. I have one other write-up here. Let me see. Really quick, Benji Sales over on Twitter, he says Rockstar Games announcement for the first trailer for Grand Theft Auto 6 the first trailer for Grand Theft Auto 6 will release in December has already generated 1+ million likes on Twitter/X and 1.5+ million likes on Instagram. Record-breaking numbers for both trailer viewership and game sales coming with this behemoth. So there you go. Benji Sales, he's a games analyst. He's saying that these numbers absolutely indicate that there's going to be record-breaking numbers across the board here. Jeff Keighley tweeted 39 minutes ago, busy day today for the Game Awards team, preparing for the nomination announcement on Monday. I am going to be streaming that, by the way. Which games are you hoping to see up for Game of the Year? So that's going to be a fun one. So a lot of stuff happening, man. A lot of stuff happening in the next 2 months to close out the year. Good stuff. Okay. The write-up I want to read to you here comes from WCCF Tech. It says GTA 6 is planned for a 2025 release. GTA Online updates to slow down next month to allow for a marketing push. GTA 6 is apparently finally getting revealed very soon. Seems like the game is still more than a year away from its release, according to a new report shared online today. Following the Bloomberg report, which said that the next entry in the series by Rockstar Games might be revealed as early as this week, literally happened within 12 hours of that report coming out. Rockstar Universe shared a new report detailing everything they and Rockstar Intel know about the game. Last month, Rockstar Games co-founder Sam Hauser allegedly flew to New York last month to get an update on the game and to take part in a meeting with an advertisement agency where a large request for a large number of mural spaces, if I could read. Building ads, poster spaces were submitted. The advertisements were requested to be completed by the end of December. Next month seems to be the month when the marketing push for GTA 6 will truly begin. According to internal sources, major updates for GTA Online are slowing down to allow the next entry in the series to be in the spotlight. As such, the online game is not getting a major winter DLC like it has in the past. It will only be getting event weeks and seasonal content in the future. Other internal sources also revealed that GTA 6 may not be released next year, as the game is currently planned for a 2025 release, which sounds disappointing but not entirely unexpected, given past indications that the game would be out by March 2025. So, yeah, apparently they were always targeting a holiday 2024 release, but again, if this is to be believed, it seems like they actually pushed this out to early 2025. And, I do wonder what source is this? That was being reported by WCCF Tech from, I think it's from Rockstar Intel and Rockstar Universe. They apparently have sources. I don't know how much I believe it, like it could be true, could be, just nonsense. But the question I have at this point is what role Sony may play in all of this, if any at all. One of the biggest questions, this entire stream is mainly been focused on GTA 6 because GTA 6 is going to, it's just one of these major event games and releases that it's impossible to ignore and not talk about. I really wonder if Sony was able to secure the marketing rights to GTA 6. This is something I really want to know because that's going to be a big deal. Like a really, really, really big deal. Again, we are talking about a game that is going to break records, that is going to utterly dominate the sales charts. I know for a fact Sony wants those marketing rights. The question is, were they able to get them? Because we know that Sony has had an ongoing partnership with Rockstar Games. They had the marketing rights for GTA 5. They had the marketing rights for Red Dead Redemption 2. It's going to be a whole nother beast if Sony has the marketing rights to GTA 6. Because even, maybe they'll get a couple of GTA Online exclusive bonuses and stuff like that. But I don't know, man. It just seems like it's something that Sony would want to aggressively pursue. Dark Horse with a $5 super chat says, LOL, Microsoft announces their interest of acquiring Take-Two Interactive in another mega acquisition by the giant Microsoft. I mean, I don't know if you're... I don't think this is an official thing, I'm assuming. I mean, I was just on Twitter a moment ago. I didn't see anything like that. But, I mean... How does that benefit me? No, it doesn't benefit me at all. I don't care either way. It's more, it benefits me in the sense that it's going to be interesting to talk about. Because, I mean, we have heard Sony continually say how important their partnerships are, right? That to me is one of the more important ones where it's like, look, a lot of people talk about Sony acquiring Take-Two. I don't think that's ever going to happen. But if they can get those marketing rights, so it matters to me in the sense of like, it'll be interesting to talk about and see how this impacts the perception of PlayStation. Seeing the GTA 6 logo and the PlayStation logo in trailers, like it would have a big impact on the business side of things in terms of seeing how it helps the PS5, how it maybe doesn't impact the PS5 as much. I don't know. I just think it's kind of a big deal. If you're a GTA Online player, it might impact you. I mean, if I do play GTA Online, it might impact me if they get some exclusives or something like that. I think Sony still likes to do that type of stuff. But yeah, I don't think Microsoft could make a play for Take-Two Interactive, man. I just, even if could they afford them? Yes, they could. Could they actually get them? I don't think so. Because if Microsoft, they just finished getting Activision Blizzard, if they tried to get Take-Two Interactive, they would have to go through that entire process again, and there's no chance. I don't think there's any chance they could get through the regulatory process again with another major publisher like that. I think it would be way too hard to get that over the line. I think there are just too many obstacles. There are too many red flags. I think they could maybe get another smaller publisher at most, but not somebody like Take-Two. They could with money. I mean, not necessarily. Yeah, not everyone wants to be bought. People, it's not like these people in these positions of power don't have money. They definitely have money. But I don't think so, dude. Am I underestimating the power of money? Maybe a little bit. You're saying my strip keeps lagging. What strip? Guys, is there any kind of lag? Is there anything going on that I should be aware of? They can pay off the regulators. I don't know, man. That's pretty conspiratorial. Saying sometimes on your end. A lot of people saying it's okay. All right. You're saying the stream has been buffering almost the entire time for you. Thought it was just on my end. Is anybody else having that problem? I mean, it all looks good. But Dark Horse, I appreciate the super chat, man. And thank you guys for letting me know. It seems like generally everybody's they're fine right now. There isn't any lag or anything. Saying close the tabs. Dude, all the tabs are closed. $24 billion is not that much for Microsoft, but it's the power that Take-Two has in the industry. It's the power that they have. I'm telling you, Microsoft wouldn't be able to do it. I know you're saying it was a joke, but I have no doubt. Listen, man, if Microsoft thought they could make it happen, they would. Absolutely, they would. No doubt about it. But I think it's just too, it's just a major red flag. We have Kendall Fire 22. He says the Xbox head of marketing integrations quote tweeted the announcement and said, "We're ready. I think they have the rights." Yeah, that's another possibility. You want to talk about Microsoft being able to outbid Sony? That's a way they could do it. That is a way they could do it. I don't think that quote tweet indicates that's what happened, but I just think it's one. It could be one of these things where nobody has the marketing rights to it. I mean, if you're Rockstar, you probably are thinking to yourself, like, we don't need to align with anybody. We're good. But then again, I don't know. Money, right? Why would Rockstar Games reject the money? That would be I'll tell you this right now. If Microsoft got the marketing rights to GTA6, ooh, that would be. You want to talk about something that would actually be like in my opinion, I'm not gonna look. I don't want to over exaggerate it, but man, that's a slap to the face to Sony. That is a backhand to Sony, dude. Where it's like Sony had the marketing rights for Red Dead. They had Red Dead Online exclusives. They had it for GTA 5. I mean, you would know that if Microsoft, especially because Microsoft doesn't seem to care about that stuff anymore. If Microsoft ended up paying for that, that they basically outbid Sony. And that would yeah, that's a backhand, bro. I'd have to see it to believe it. You're saying you don't believe it would hurt Sony anyway? I don't think it would hurt Sony, right? Like, I don't think it would stop, PS5 sales, but it means no bundle. It means no GTA 6 PS5 bundle. It means no GTA 6 PS5 Pro bundle. It means Xbox logos at the end of every GTA trailer. The Xbox console at the end of every GTA trailer, potentially. It would have an impact that I don't think would necessarily hurt Sony, but it would really help Microsoft. But it would still be a backhand to Sony, in my opinion, because it's like that's Microsoft just straight up like, that's ours now. I'm not worried about it. It's not something that I'm just interested to see if Sony locked that down or not, because I want to remind everybody that the first thing Jim Ryan and Sony ever talked about, it was what they opened up their very first Future of Gaming PS5 showcase by announcing their continued partnership with Rockstar Games to bring GTA 5 to PS5. You know what I mean? It just goes to show how important that is to Sony. Final Fantasy would be the biggest backhand. I agree with that, but I don't think that's going to happen. GTA 6 on Switch 2? I don't know. Yeah, maybe. So thank you for that, Kendall Fire. We also have Disco Cobra 2013 with a $20 super chat. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. That's a very generous super chat. And you're saying here, what is everyone hoping for in the next GTA, like the story and the online portion? I'm hoping they stick to what made the games good, the jokes and narrative. It will be dialed back, most likely, but hope it's still good. I think it's a good question to ask, and I am in agreement with what you're saying here, Disco Cobra. You're saying you're thinking it will be dialed back. It'll most likely be dialed back, but you're hoping it'll still be good. It will. I'm in agreement. It is going to be dialed back. I think anybody who is expecting Rockstar to go in as hard as they have in the past is going to end up disappointed, because we already saw Rockstar make some changes to I think GTA 5 and other things. I think even in Vice City, with like I think they like removed the Confederate flag and stuff like that. Which I don't have it. See, I know a lot of people get like really upset about stuff like that, and it's like, well, I mean, I get it. Like it was part of the game, and now it's just taken out. And I understand why people's frustration, but for me personally, it's like I'll be real with you. Like I didn't even know. Like I remember when these articles came out about the stuff that Rockstar Games changed or removed. I was like, huh. Like I see the outrage, but I didn't even know about these things, honestly. Like what I'm trying to say is if they had changed it or removed it without telling me, I would have never known. That's all. But that indicates to me that they are absolutely going to, like you said, dial it back somewhat. The question is, how significantly are they going to do it? I think it'll only be slightly. I think they're going to dial it back to a degree in which they're going to try to be funny in different ways that are less potentially like on less sensitive topics, if that makes sense. And so, again, some people might not like that, but in terms of what are we hoping for with the story and the online portion, the story, I'm just hoping for compelling characters. I'm hoping for a really good narrative. I am hoping that the narrative, frankly, is better than GTA 5. So I'm not saying GTA 5's narrative was bad. I didn't think it was bad, but it's just not a narrative that I like. When I think of like the best narrative driven games or best stories I've experienced in games, GTA 5 does not come to the top. Red Dead 2 does come to the top, and I would like to see them go more in the Red Dead Redemption direction of like really trying to create some seriously memorable moments and characters based off of just the, I don't know, just the, see, that's the thing. I feel like when I say that though, as we discussed, Red Dead did have humor in it, but I really do feel like it wasn't anywhere near the same level as GTA, and that's where I feel like the only way I could get what it is I would like to see out of a GTA story is they would have to get like very serious about it, and I just don't know. I don't know that would work out too well. Like, yeah, the character of Trevor, I mean, yeah, the character of Trevor was really interesting in the sense that he definitely spiced up the story, right? And he was certainly a character and pretty funny at times as well. But I like the dynamic between Trevor and Michael. That I thought was pretty good, where it was like, Trevor had this idea in his mind that they're like best friends and everything, and like Michael's like, I got to get rid of this guy, and I did like that dynamic. I did, but the GTA 5 story was, in my opinion, exactly what it probably should have been. I guess I'm just wondering this time around if they're going to do anything dramatically different tonally. I think they might. I'm saying that because, dude, like, again, Leslie Benzies, Dan Houser, who's the name of the other guy? What's his name? He does the radio, Laszlo, I think that's his name. They all left, and I think others left as well. And they had a major hand in GTA 5 from top to bottom, especially Dan Houser. So, because they left, they could have left when they were finished, or Dan Houser could have left when he was finished his work potentially, but I don't know, man. I do expect there are going to be some changes because of that. No doubt about it. But I'm hopeful. I'm hoping for just a really good, memorable story and characters. That's all. I think people try to remind me that GTA 4 kind of went in that direction. Yeah, like GTA 4 kind of went in that direction of having a more serious story, somewhat, and a little bit more drama. I thought GTA 4 was really good. I loved it. So if they want to kind of go back to that again, I'm cool with that. Definitely cool with that. The thing I'm most excited about though, Disco Cobra, And I guess this could pertain to the online portion as well. There are two things. As much as I'm interested in learning about the new characters and the story, I'm actually way more excited about seeing Vice City. I think it's been pretty much confirmed through the leaks that that's where it's going to take place. I'm really excited to see what true next-gen Vice City looks like. And beyond that, I really want to see what they bring to the table in terms of the physics, the wildlife, the AI. I want to see how dense the world is. Like, can you go in many more buildings now? I want to see the improvements they made to the combat, the melee, the shooting, taking cover. I want to see all of that. Like, because all of that to me is going to, again, these are all areas in my opinion where the expectation is they have to take things to the next level. And, you could take things to the next level, so to speak, with your storytelling and your characters and all that. But we see that a lot is what I'm trying to say, right? Like, we see movies and games and all these different areas of media, we see things come out that have good and interesting characters and good stories. But it's really on the open world and mechanic side of things that I really want to see. Rockstar has the opportunity to deliver something where you don't actually ever see this. Maybe this is even the first time you're seeing something like this. That to me is what's going to be truly exciting. Is the bar set high? Oh, I think so. Absolutely. And Josh and Perfect Image, before I read your super chats, I'm actually going to read Disco Cobra's second super chat because he donated another $20 super chat. And just to keep it cohesive here, thank you for that, Disco Cobra. Very kind of you, man. You're saying, I'm also wondering if it will be on PS4 like GTA 5 was. It launched on PS3 and 360, but I doubt it since we are 3 years into next gen. I'm just curious. I was thinking GTA 6 would make $1 billion in 24 hours, but not sure enough consoles. It's definitely an important question to ask if you're somebody who hasn't upgraded to the next gen consoles or the current gen consoles yet. I'm going to say there is a 0% chance that GTA 6 is going to be on the PS4 and Xbox One because everything I just listed about what I'm excited to see just straight up would not be possible if it's developed for the PS4 and the Xbox One. I think they probably started like in the earliest days. In the earliest days of GTA 6 and its development, they probably started on PS4 and Xbox One. But once they really started to ramp up development and they started getting to that point where they have to go through the threshold of now we have to start pushing the limit here, I'm sure they hit that limit instantaneously on the PS4 and Xbox One. And they moved over to the next gen consoles, or at the time, the next gen consoles. And now from that point forward, they push and push and push and see how far they can get. In my opinion, there's no chance. There's just no chance that if this game comes out November of next year or March 2025, especially, dude, if it comes out in 2025, that like we're in the 5th year of these consoles, there's no way I could see that happening. Because, dude, people would be so sad. People would be so disappointed. And so I understand what you're saying about selling, enough copies to make $1 billion in 24 hours. I think it's a guarantee, dude. I think we need to just look at how often GTA 5 is in the charts, the top of the charts, top 10, every single month, every single quarter. If there are like 60 to 65 million PS5s out there, and let's just say like 30 to 35 million Xbox consoles out there, right? You're looking at a total pool of around anywhere between 90 and 100 million between the two. That's a good install. Like, dude, they're going to sell. The attach rate is going to be absurd, right? The attach rate is going to be absolutely absurd. And especially the big question too is if they're going to launch GTA 6 on PC the same day, right? Like at launch for with the PS5 and the series. If they do that, they're golden, man. They don't have to worry. People like this will be the game that makes people say, "Oh, I'm going to go buy a PS5 or an Xbox console." I think Rockstar knows that. So it's definitely we haven't even touched on that this whole time, but I think absolutely I think that it's going to be a current gen only game. I'll tell you right now. If GTA6 is announced for the PS4, I mean, that's going to kill my hype. I will still like engage with it and watch the trailers and the gameplay and probably still buy it, but my hype will be dead, man. Where it's like I went from being like super excited for this game to like I guess it'll be good. I guess it'll be good. But yeah, Disco Cobra, I think you're asking some of the good questions here, and I want to say this too before I move on. I said there's a 0% chance. I think what I mean to say is I want there to be a 0% chance that GTA 6 is announced for the PS4. But at the same time, I have to also take a step back and realize that it's not out of the question. As much as I want it to be out of the question, it's just not. Because you are right. It's about money. It's about sales. It's about volume, and between the Xbox One and the PS4, there's still a very large install base. Rockstar Games and GTA 6 are one of the only games that could get away with, yeah, we're 5 years into the new consoles. We're still going to release this on the last gen consoles too. They could get away with it. So I just want to put that out there. But I do think from a development standpoint, I just don't think it would have been possible, I think they would have ran into just so many roadblocks that they're like, we may as well just make GTA 5 again. We like that's just my assumption. But then again, you're right, GTA 5 was made on PS3. So we'll see, Disco Cobra. We'll see. But either way, man, I gotta thank you. You basically donated $40 worth of super chats, which is very kind of you, man. Very generous. And as always, I do rely on you guys with your support directly like this to be able to keep these streams going and to keep the channel running. So thank you so much for that, man. Let's see. We have a super chat from Josh, and he says, Insomniac did what we speculated they would do. Spider-Man 2 was incredible. Now we just need that Hulk boss fight in Wolverine. Where's my boy Matt Murdock? I think we're going to see Matt Murdock very soon. It seems like Insomniac is not shying away from teasing the fact that that they're bringing in Daredevil at some point. Like, I don't know if he's going to be playable. I'm assuming he won't be, but I really wonder, dude, how people are going to react to that. Like, hey, we brought in Daredevil. You can't play as him. Are people going to be upset about that? Like, or is it going to give people hope that we are going to get a Daredevil game? Is that what they could be working on? I don't know. Like after Wolverine, I don't know. But what I do know is it does seem like they are going to bring Matt Murdock in. And it could just, you know what it could be? It could just be, we just interact with Matt Murdock as the lawyer, like we don't actually see him as Daredevil, but it's like kind of a little wink and a nod, like, yeah, Daredevil's in this universe. Could be that too. But Josh, it sounds to me like you just finished Spider-Man 2 and you thoroughly enjoyed yourself. On my stream from yesterday, I got a comment on in my comment section where the comment was Spider-Man 2 sucked, and it got like 16 or 17 upvotes, which is quite a bit. And I'm like, well, I don't know, man. It sucked. I can understand some of the shortfalls, where some of the areas where it falls short. I mean, I can understand why not everybody loves it, but I really enjoyed it. I look, man, Venom in this game was awesome. And to me, Venom was a little tease of what we could end up seeing with Wolverine in terms of taking things to another level when it comes to being darker, being more brutal. And so you talk about a Hulk fight in Wolverine. That would be insane. Imagine if that's how they open the game. Could you just imagine they open Wolverine with a Hulk fight? That would be that would be next level, bro. You're saying, oh my god, yes, that part with Venom and Kraven. Jesus. Yeah, without spoiling too much, that was a really cool part of the game. I think that was my favorite part of the game, honestly. But Josh, I appreciate the super chat, man. Let's see. Perfect Image with a $2 super chat. He says, I'm happy GTA 6 is coming. I knew this day would come. 2024, 2025. Yeah, dude. I mean, if you look around the internet right now, the most common thing I'm seeing is not people being excited for GTA 6. They're celebrating the fact that it's over, you know? Like the rumors are over. The speculation is over. I mean, we talk frequently on this channel about waiting for Sony to put on another show and announce some of these games from their studios. I mean, I can only imagine for hardcore GTA fans and Rockstar fans how intense it must have been to sit here and wait for 2 years, for over 10 years, right? Jay Shocko doesn't want any of that from Levy H. Spider-Man 2 is the most disappointing game of the year. Really? That's crazy to me. Like, that's crazy to me. Like, the most disappointing of the year. I mean, I guess maybe. I'm not going to say you're wrong if that's how you feel. But I don't know, man. I feel like there are definitely other games that would probably take that spot. Certainly. Maybe not, though. I don't know. Teach their own, man. Teach their own. Just wait. Spider-Man 2 wins Game of the Year. That would be huge, man. I'll tell you. I'll tell you right now. If Levy, you're saying you were hyped. You were hyped up to be this. You're saying it was hyped up to be this crazy game, and it was just meh. You know what I think happened, dude? Like, putting some of the other stuff that people don't like about it aside, I think what may have happened with Spider-Man 2 is I think some people may have forgot it's a sequel. You know, like it's a sequel, like a direct sequel, and I mean, in my opinion, I think when we saw the first gameplay of it in May at the showcase, like, to me, it's like that's the moment where like, you're either excited for this game or you're not, because they just kind of showed you like this is the game. Like, not all the story beats, of course, but in terms of like it's a sequel. In a lot of ways, we're doing a lot of the same things we did in the first game. That's why I said, like, I did enjoy it, you know, because I mean, I knew like this is a sequel. They're going to play it relatively safe. But that's why I also expressed over and over again, I'm way more excited for Wolverine, man. Way more excited for Wolverine. Truthfully. Let the man have his opinion. I agree. It's fine. I agree. Each their own, man. The big question, though, I mean, Spider-Man 2 winning Game of the Year. We'll talk more about that. I assume it's going to be nominated. I don't know. I don't think Spider-Man 2 wins Game of the Year, if I'm being brutally honest. I just don't see it happening. I mean, it would be a big deal. It would be a very big deal if Spider-Man 2 won Game of the Year. I think people would I think some people would riot, frankly, if Spider-Man 2 won Game of the Year, because it's going up against some seriously heavy competition, man. And even I don't know that Spider-Man 2 would be fully deserving of Game of the Year. I think it is Game of the Year material, but considering the competition, like, to me, I think Final Fantasy 16 is more deserving of Game of the Year than Spider-Man 2. And I say that as somebody who really enjoyed Spider-Man 2. But Final Fantasy 16 is like, I mean, I haven't played Baldur's Gate 3, you know. I know a lot of people are mentioning that. There are other games, obviously, that come to mind, like Zelda and, I mean, it's just been such an intense year. But for me, I mean, Alan Wake 2 will probably be nominated. I'm really, really, really enjoying Alan Wake 2. I will say so far, as much as I am enjoying Alan Wake 2, I still don't think it's topping Final Fantasy 16. Dude, Final Fantasy 16, look, again, I've said it time and time again, but I'll continue to say, especially as we get closer to the Game of the Year awards, it's not a perfect game. The side stuff in particular was, I think, easily the weakest part of that game. But the things that it was doing right and doing well, I mean, it was absolutely annihilating. Like, it was absolutely like, holy shit, this game is insane. And the combat felt incredible. I loved it. So, yeah, man, if it would be kind of strange for me if Spider-Man 2 won Game of the Year, because I would actually be sitting there thinking, like, but I feel like Final Fantasy 16 is more deserving of it. You know, I do. But that's just me. I would be happy to see Spider-Man 2 win Game of the Year, because it's like, wow, Insomniac just won Game of the Year. That's crazy, you know? You're saying tone-wise, FF16 did good. I like the tone of the game too. Yeah, I really like the story. It was a very long story, very, a lot of drama. I thought the characters were good. It was a fulfilling story. It was a satisfying and fulfilling story. And I think, honestly, in all of my time talking about Final Fantasy 16, I did not give it enough credit for that, because I think I was just so focused on, like, dude, these boss battles, holy shit. But it really is a very fulfilling story. Is the stream lagging? I don't know why I keep getting these bursts of lag. Dude, I have a wired connection, man. I apologize for that. If you do run into lag, maybe try to refresh it. Yesterday, we had a lag spike so bad, my stream died for about 5 minutes. And everybody was saying to restart the stream, and I was this close to restarting the stream, but I stuck with it, and it actually came back, which was great. Not great that it happened, but just great that it was able to come back. I don't know what's up with the intermittent lag. Maybe I have to reset my modem again. I don't know. It's very frustrating. Let me see here. Where am I at? So, Perfect Image, thank you for the super chat. I see Domingo813. I'm a little bit late to his super chat here, but he says GTA6 before head reveal. No way. No way. I know, man. I know. Who would have thought? I wouldn't have. Hold on 1 second, guys. Okay. You're saying it's not lag, but the stream looks like Starfield 30 FPS gameplay. Oops. Let me check something real quick. Let me check my performance, my PC performance, what's going on. Everything looks good on my end, man. Yep, kind of wired connection. I don't know. Oh, dude, why do I feel so tired, though? I'm like drinking coffee and I feel tired. But Domingo, thank you so much for the super chat, bud. We have Easy E with another super chat. And he says, MBG, do you think that GTA 6 will be the beginning of this gen? Like Rockstar will truly push the consoles? Also, how would you feel if they went fully woke? If they went fully woke, I mean, it would be a shocking thing, because it's like, I mean, talk about a complete 180, right? Like, I think that with a lot of things, a lot of the things that people call woke and focus on, I think they've happened gradually. I think if GTA 6 went in that direction, it would be shocking to I think everybody would be like, whoa. that is super unexpected. I mean, look, man, like, really quick, this guy in the chat is yelling, MBG is a crybaby, and then he's asking me why I blocked him. I mean, what do you want me to tell you, man? What what am I supposed to say to that? Like, because I'm a crybaby? Jeez, man, it's ridiculous, dude. I just don't understand why people it's just such a weird phenomenon where it's like people are just rude, right? And I think the internet has conditioned people this way, where the internet has conditioned people to believe that they can just be rude to people, and it's like, but you can't block me. Like, I'm not deserving of a block. Like, I'll block whoever I want for whatever reason I want. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going to block somebody for just giving an opinion that I disagree with. Certainly not. But if you're fucking rude, I don't have to deal with you, and I will block you. It's that simple. Like, that's within my right to do, and I will do it, because if I don't want to see it, I don't want to see it. You know, if I don't want to deal with it, I'm not going to deal with it. So, you know, listen, man, what I'll tell these people, there are plenty other places you can go where they welcome you being rude. So just go there. It's that simple. Anyway, Easy E, to get back to your super chat, you're saying, how would I feel if they went fully woke? I would be shocked. I think everybody would be shocked, because that is the opposite of what GTA has been. And I think the expectation is it's not going to be that, you know? So that's how I feel about that. Do I think GTA 6 is the beginning of next gen, like the true beginning? That's a tough one. It's a great question. And I feel like it's going to be really difficult to answer that even when the game comes out, because, again, this game is likely going to launch on the PS5 Pro, and it's like, did it take till we got the PS5 Pro to allow for this? I'm going to say no. Some people might feel that way, but I think yes, maybe. I think when GTA 6 drops, depending on what it does and how impressive it may or may not be, but I'm assuming it will be, it might really be like, wow, like, look at what's possible. I mean, when you look at Red Dead Redemption 2, that dropped on the PS4 and the Xbox One, was also for the released on the PS5 Pro and the Xbox Series X as well, or Xbox One X as well. And it was just basically a higher resolution, but everything that game was doing, I mean, I don't want to say it put all other developers to shame. Not all other developers, but many. It just really was like, this is what's possible. This is what we were able to achieve. I do think we might see that. I think there's actually a pretty decent chance we are going to see that with GTA 6 with these current gen consoles. And I don't necessarily know that that means from that moment forward, every game is going to be as technically insane as GTA 6 might be. No, but it definitely could give us our first, taste of that. So definitely good question there, Easy. Ice Rezo with a $2 super chat says GTA is going to be a game as a service and microtransactions. 100%. Yes. It's something that we have to appreciate, as long as it's good. We have to appreciate what they're bringing to the table from the single player perspective, because I don't think we're going to get any single player DLC or anything like that. I do think we're going to get one big single player game in GTA 6, and then I think it'll be like another decade or so until we get maybe Red Dead 3. But you're not wrong, man. It is ultimately going to be a game as a service with GTA Online and microtransactions, the shark cards. But I honestly expect the cycle for GTA 6. I expect the cycle for GTA 6 to be the same as GTA 5 in a way, where we got this story single player, you enjoy it for a week or two or more, and then the focus shifts to it's going to be about GTA Online and supporting that. I do think that's just the trajectory that it's headed in, and I'm not necessarily fully against that. I'm obviously not super excited for it because I became really uninterested in GTA Online, and I enjoyed it for like the first 2 years or so, and then after that, I started just getting so bored with. Again, it's not necessarily boredom. It's just I don't know. It just wasn't. It just wasn't keeping me in the place that I was initially when I first started playing GTA Online, where it's just like, wow, this all feels so fresh and interesting and different. And then it's like you play it for a year, they have all these updates. You play it for maybe another year, they have more and more updates. But then I guess what really did kind of push me away from GTA Online is it really did just become about like just grind for the money, please buy the shark cards, and then go buy all these items. And then just rinse and repeat that. And it's just the whole kind of carrot on the stick thing. I can roll with that for a while, but eventually I get tired of it, where I'm like, I'm tired of the endless loop, the endless grind. And that is one of the things that, even though I do get sucked into some games as a service sometimes, at the end of the day, it does start to wear thin on me, where it's like, all right, this is clearly just never going to end, and I get tired. But it doesn't necessarily mean that I never ended up disliking the gameplay of GTA, even GTA Online. I still think it has good gameplay, some fun gameplay, but I just felt like I wasn't going anywhere with it. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm just going to move on now. I don't feel like I missed out on anything. So thank you for that, Ice. We have Dark Horse saying RoboCop greater than Spider-Man 2. Damn. What's interesting about that RoboCop game is apparently it is really good. I've been seeing people talk about this RoboCop game and they're like, this is actually amazing. If you're a RoboCop fan, this is like one of the best games to come out ever. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of RoboCop, and I haven't really been looking into this game too much, but I have been seeing people talk about it. I have been hearing people talk about it, and I can't speak to that. I mean, Dark Horse, I'm assuming you played both RoboCop and Spider-Man 2, and you've come to this conclusion that RoboCop is better than Spider-Man 2. I mean, hey, man, enjoy what you enjoy. I don't know. That's not a game that's on my radar. I really do wonder how I would feel about it, though, if I were to play it. Maybe I will. I don't know. Maybe I will. Right now, though, I'm still playing Alan Wake 2. I still do want to play Lies of P, so saying it's game of the year. Now, that would be the upset. RoboCop wins game of the year 2023. I would love to see that happen because it would be funny as hell. It would be so funny to see the insane meltdown that the internet would have collectively because RoboCop won game of the year. If the game holds MBG's hand, he will like it. Not necessarily. No. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like a little bit of hand holding here and there. The thing I like about some hand holding in gaming is it does a great job at making you feel like you're making good progress. And it kind of, I don't know, maybe it fires off the dopamine or something where it's like, yeah, I'm making good progress. But at the same time, if it's done too much and it's overwhelming, if the hand holding is overwhelming, it has the opposite effect where it's like, okay, am I even playing this? Am I doing anything? I mean, I'm playing Alan Wake 2 right now, and one of the things that's there in Alan Wake 2 is, they have a lot of puzzles. And I was playing this section as Alan Wake in the game, and there was a clear puzzle I had to figure out, and I kept kind of like going in circles. But, it was, of course, I got a little bit frustrated at one point or two, but I realized like I don't mind this. Like this, like I know this puzzle isn't that difficult. I just have to try, and it's not going to tell me right there like, hey, this is exactly what you have to do. And it would suck if it did, because it just, at that point, it's like, I don't like things that are completely on rails where it just feels like that's what it is. I'm just along for the ride. I don't like that. But I'm also not a fan of games that are like, not only are we not on rails, but we're not going to tell you anything. Like, we're just going to drop you in there and you figure it all out. And it's just like an overwhelming amount of, I know a lot of people love that. And I have played games like that. You know, I played Elden Ring, and it's just like, it's like people like the idea of going back and playing Elden Ring again. Like, hell no. Hell no. I immersed myself in it when I played it. I forgot a lot about it. You know what I mean? Like, I forgot many of the things that, like, many of the details of that game. And I realized if I were to go back and play it again, like, I would have to relearn so many things about that game. And it's just like, it's like, you know what? I'm good. That sounds way too overwhelming to me. But, you know, going back and playing something like, I don't know, like, again, maybe like something like Final Fantasy 16, it doesn't, like, one of the things I loved so much about Final Fantasy 16 is the fact that it didn't hold your hand, but it did have that kind of linear progression. Like, it definitely told you, like, well, this is where you're supposed to go next. You know, you can explore some of these open areas if you want. Just had that kind of nice balance where I never felt like, man, I'm overwhelmed by this game. I don't know what to do or where to go or what I should do next, or if I'm going to miss out on these things. And I appreciated that. That's one thing that I am not a fan of in games. And maybe it's just kind of like a weird thing about me in particular, but I don't like it when games, as I'm progressing through them, I just get this feeling like I'm missing a bunch of stuff. That always bothers the hell out of me, where it's like, man, it creates a weird behavior for me. Maybe it's not weird, but it's something I don't like doing, but I feel like I have to do, where it's like, I have to explore every inch of this area because I might miss something. And then a lot of times, like, I'm just like roaming these different areas and I'm not missing anything. You know, it's just, well, damn. But yeah, a little bit of hand holding is fine. I just don't like it when it's, you know, again, makes me feel like I'm not doing anything. Can we all imagine the Series S version of GTA 6? I mean, it'll be interesting to see if it's gonna, like, how comparable the Series S version is gonna be to the X and the PS5. Am I planning on getting the Platinum for Alan Wake 2? I would like to. From what I've heard, it seems to be pretty easy. But I don't know if anybody here has already gotten the Platinum for Alan Wake 2. Maybe you can let me know. Was it easy? Was it difficult? What? I don't even know if was it annoying? That's the question I want to ask. Because my whole thing with Platinums is, if the requirement to get a Platinum trophy is you're going to be annoyed, like you have to do annoying things, then I just don't want to do it. Like, I'm at that point now where it's like, I don't want to feel annoyed at playing a video game. That's the last thing I want to feel. I don't mind if it's difficult, like it's a challenge, right? I don't mind that, but I just don't like annoying shit. You don't platinum any game? I feel like I don't know where I am yet with that, right? Where, like, I want to be in that place. I do. I want to get to that place where I don't care about platinuming games. I don't care about trophy hunting. It means nothing to me. I don't care about the metagame, but I'm not there yet. Not fully, but I feel like I am getting there slowly. I do. I feel like I'm just, the more games that I come up against, that I'm like, I don't want to platinum this. Like, I don't want to do this. I just want to play the game and enjoy it. I don't want to worry about all this shit. It's happening. It seems like it is happening more and more as each year goes by. And I feel like I'm just inching closer and closer to that place where it's just like, I just don't care. You know, like, I just want to play the game and enjoy it. I'm telling you, I will continue to say this. I really want Sony to release an update for the PlayStation ecosystem where in the settings, because there's this setting where you can, in the notifications on PS5, you can turn off trophy notifications. I would like to see that, but instead of turning off trophy notifications, you just disable trophies across your account. There are no trophy lists. You don't see them. There are no trophies to earn. Like it just basically treats it like trophies don't exist. And it's just a setting you toggle, and it hides it all from you, right? Out of sight, out of mind. That's because I'm crazy, and that's what I need. If I see it, I'm gonna feel like I gotta obtain it. But I would really appreciate it if they did something like that. The dream. Yeah, they'll probably never do anything like that, though. I doubt it. All right, Josh, you're saying if Daredevil shows up in a Spider-Man DLC, then I wouldn't expect him to be playable, which I'm fine with. Spider-Man and Daredevil have a great dynamic, but give me that Daredevil game. That's fair. And I think that's a good expectation to have, because, I mean, again, I don't want to spoil anything in Spider-Man 2, but I could see them possibly making Daredevil playable, but it also feels like that's a bit much for a DLC, assuming it's just going to be like an add-on DLC like we got with the previous Spider-Man game. I think people, again, would just be happy and excited to see the acknowledgement that Daredevil exists in this universe and now is interacting with Spider-Man. I think people would be happy for that. And Josh, I feel like you're kind of backing my thought process up by saying that you would be fine with it. But you are saying you want that Daredevil game. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what Insomniac would do in that scenario. It would be such a strange thing if Insomniac's like, yeah, here's Daredevil in our Spider-Man 2 DLC. But, that's it. He'll never be playable. We're never doing anything else with him. He's just going to be in this DLC. I mean, they could do that, right? They could, but I feel like Daredevil's a big enough character and has enough of a fandom, especially now, that I think people would be pretty upset if it's like, dude, surely at some point we got to get a Daredevil game, right? Or he has to be playable at some point, right? It is worth noting that Insomniac is working on some kind of multiplayer game. I think it's in the really early stages and certainly is not going to come out before Wolverine, but they are working on some kind of multiplayer game. And you do have to wonder if this multiplayer game is going to be based in the Marvel universe, if it's going to be another Marvel game. I don't know. Maybe they're setting something like that up. We'll have to wait and see. But Josh, I do appreciate the super chat, bud. We also have Matt Thornton with a super chat saying, I hope GTA 6 is more grounded and realistic in its story, characters, and gameplay like GTA 4 and Red Dead Redemption 2. GTA Online ruined it by making it too silly. Yeah, I think a lot of people feel that way. You are right. I think that is one of the reasons why I started leaving or becoming much less interested in GTA Online as well. Is you're right. They really did kind of lean into the silly factor where they just started getting kind of ridiculous with a lot of the stuff. And I mean, I understand why they did that, and I don't necessarily think it completely ruined it. But in terms of the story of GTA 6, you're saying you want them to lean more towards the side of what they did with GTA 4 and Red Dead 2. I am in agreement, man. I think they have to. I do. Like, if it's true that GTA 6 is going to dial it down in terms of like making jokes at the expense of others and punching down, I think the only other choice that they have at that point, if they're pivoting, is to go in that direction of we'd rather you guys take it a little bit more seriously. Okay, that's fine. I think the Rockstar audience has proven that they're certainly willing to do that with games like Red Dead 2 and GTA 4. But it's up to Rockstar to deliver that. So I agree with you, Matt. And that's another thing I'm wondering with this first trailer is one thing I think this trailer will do when we get it next month is I think it will set the tone. Like it will let us know what the tone of this new GTA is going to be. So, looking forward to it. We have a Dark Horse with another super chat. He's saying, I don't understand the hype for Baldur's Gate 3 when I think Dungeons and Dragons. I think about a bunch of Reddit basement dwellers with fedoras. Damn. I mean, I don't know that that's what I think of. It's pretty funny, but I don't know that that's what I think of. I feel like I'm on the outside looking in with Baldur's Gate 3, frankly. I do. I feel like I'm on the outside looking in and I don't understand it fully, but it's because I've never gotten into CRPGs, and I don't know. It just feels like it's one of these things where it reminds me of like Elden Ring in the sense that Elden Ring took the world by storm, but I fully understood Elden Ring. Like I was on the inside. Like, yeah, dude, I played the Dark Souls games and I love them. They're some of my favorite games of all time. I played Bloodborne. I loved it. So I absolutely understand Elden Ring, and it's nice to see so many people also now beginning to understand, like, yeah, this is what From Software does, man. They make these incredible games like this. And that's weird because I feel like Baldur's Gate 3 kind of had that same, I don't know if the impact was as big. Maybe it was. It's hard to gauge that, but it was big nonetheless, and it took the world by storm. But I'm on the opposite side at this point where it's like, I'm just going to be honest. I don't understand the appeal of Baldur's Gate 3. And I don't mean that as in I think it looks bad. I'm just saying, like, I have zero desire to even touch that game. And I'll be honest, I've heard people, like I was listening to certain shows or certain videos where people were talking about their experience with Baldur's Gate 3, and even listening to them talk about the gameplay and what they're experiencing, I still don't get, like, I'm just like, I just don't get it. I don't understand, like, what is the appeal of this game? And again, I don't say that in an offensive way. I just mean that that's normal, right? Like, I think that somebody could say that to me with maybe something like the Dark Souls games, right? I fully understand the appeal of a Dark Souls game. But if somebody were to say, like, I don't get it at all, I'm not seeing it and I have no interest, I'd be like, I get that too. I can understand that. But that's just kind of I think that's just the nature of having so many different genres, so many different types of games, so many different types of gameplay elements in all of these games. But who knows? If I were to try Baldur's Gate 3, I'm like 99% sure I would hate it. I'll be honest. Like I'm 99% sure like I would dislike Baldur's Gate 3 and be like, I don't want to play this. Nothing against. I don't want to play this. But there's that 1% chance that, who knows, maybe if I got sucked in, it's like, oh, I totally get it now. It's certainly possible. But, I try to keep an open mind with games as much as I can, but I do have my limits, frankly. Saying MBG, the 2 marketing beats for Baldur's Gate 3 was J.K. Simmons voicing a character and bear sex. Then it was all about how thirsty the game is. A lot of people are playing it like a AAA sex game. I'll be honest with you, man. Like, I started getting a little bit not weirded out. I'm not like a prude or anything, but it's just like, that's not a selling point to me. The whole bear sex thing is where I just kind of checked out, frankly. Like, I'm just like, yeah, I'm good, man. I'm totally good. I don't need to play this game. I'm fine. I'm fine where I'm at. Teach their own. Enjoy what you enjoy, but I am good. But yeah, and that's true, Josh. Yeah. Josh is saying I said the same thing or similar things about Final Fantasy. That's true, but I will say at least Final Fantasy, it's not trying to sell me on bear sex, In all seriousness, one of the major selling points to me for Final Fantasy VII was when I watched the gameplay, because I was looking into it when you guys were encouraging me to play it. I was looking, and I did play the demo like way earlier. I was like, it is seemingly pretty action oriented. It is. It makes me wonder if I would play a turn-based Final Fantasy game. Like if they made a Final Fantasy 17, I don't think this would ever happen. But if they came out with Final Fantasy 17 and they're like, yeah, we're going back to turn-based, I wonder if I would play it. I think I would give it a chance, but I wouldn't be shocked if it's like, you know what? I'm not really feeling it. It's not my cup of tea. They say never knock it before you try it. Yeah, well, that's the thing. I'm not trying to offend anybody who enjoys Baldur's Gate 3. It's just not my thing. There's just some things I know, no matter what. Like Final Fantasy, I said there's a 99% chance I wouldn't like Baldur's Gate 3. I would say with Final Fantasy 7 Remake, it was more like a 65 to 70% chance I wasn't going to like it, because I was just pretty sure that I was not going to like the story or the characters, or I was just going to feel like this is too foreign to me. I'm not, but I was completely wrong about that, in that the characters were actually introduced in a great way, and they were well written, and they were well acted, and the story was actually not that insane, and I actually completely understood everything that was going on, and the gameplay was phenomenal. So it's like, okay, there was still that like kind of 30 to 35, 40% chance that I was like, I could see myself getting into it. But with a game like Baldur's Gate 3, I just know, like, there's no chance. There's no hope. That's all. There's no hope. But I don't know how the super chat mentioned Baldur's Gate 3. All right, let me see here. So we are at the 2-hour mark for the stream. I see PS5 Pro is trending. Let's see here. Is there anything going on? Is there any news about... Is it just trending because people are associating the PS5 Pro with GTA6? Oh, I just thought of something. You know what? It's going to be a pretty big deal. It's going to be a pretty big deal if GTA 6 doesn't launch on PC day one alongside the consoles. Like, if there's no announcement for a PC version of GTA 6, that's going to be a big deal for the PS5 Pro. I didn't realize that. Because what that will mean is we know that Xbox is not going to be launching a mid-gen refresh console. The Pro is going to be pretty powerful. I don't know, man. I don't know. That could be a pretty big deal for Sony, where it's like, we got the best version. I mean, think about that. Think about Sony being able to say we have the best version of GTA 6 until eventually a PC release comes. That's a big deal, I think, for a lot of people. Maybe not a lot of people, but I think it would definitely do something. Yeah, guys, why are you fighting? Don't make me come over there and break it up. I don't mind my cats play fighting, but when they start to get like growl and hiss at each other, it's like, will you chill out? So they're gonna start like going crazy. Shadowlink with a $5 super chat. He says, MBG, did you get my membership gift? Because I was charged for it, but it didn't show up. Shadowlink, I did not get a notification for any membership gifts. So let me ask you, was it a single gift? You know what? With that, I'm going to ask you guys this as well. Has anybody else tried gifting memberships today and they didn't go through? You thought it was your cats. Shadowlink, and it says this is your 10th time super chatting, so thank you for that, man. No, dude, it didn't go through. I don't know if it means the gift wasn't handed out. But right now, I can tell you, dude, that like I'm looking, it says I got a single membership gifted today. which was from, I think, Jake Skew at the very beginning of the stream. You're saying it was only one. Yeah, I'm sorry, man. YouTube doesn't really give me any tools here to investigate something like this. But yeah, either way, W's in the chat for Shadowlink for gifting a membership. Unfortunately, it just seemed to. Is YouTube having issues again? Because first it started with people talking about there being lag, like intermittent, just like frequent lag. My connection is excellent, and now Shadowlink is saying that he gifted a membership and it didn't go through. Saying YouTube seems to be having issues everywhere. I will tell you this. You know what I think? I think they might be, because I did get a notification from YouTube about they're making updates to how they're doing like not revenue, but the way they're distributing ads. It's like a YouTube wide change to every channel. And I think maybe they're doing shit on the back end again. Shadowlink. Yeah, you're saying this time it worked. Well, there you go, man. W's in the chat for Shadowlink. Gifting a membership. Really appreciate it, dude. I do appreciate the support, bud, and I'm sorry that happened to you. I wish there was something I could do about it. I mean, I don't know how much it may have still distributed, you know what I mean? Like without me knowing. But yeah, YouTube's having every time they do stuff on the back end, it causes things to just break, and it's very annoying. It's very, very annoying. But just gotta kind of push through. Let me see here. See if there's anything I may have missed. Nope. Okay. Well, Shadowlink, thanks again, man. YouTube introduces ad blockers to everyone. I don't know if that's what they're. I mean, I know they're on this crusade against ad blockers and whatnot, and I don't know. I don't know that it's going to work out too well for them. I was watching this video. We reacted to it one of my streams where it seems like it might backfire, but you're saying you were on another stream and you were experiencing the same thing. Yeah, it has to be a YouTube thing, dude. They're making a bunch of changes on the back end. I think they have been for like a week now. Look, man, knock on wood. I'm just grateful that this stream is still working and functioning, because there was that one day where like YouTube was so broken. I think it was last Sunday actually. It was so broken that I had to put together 3 different streams. That was very annoying. I hope that doesn't happen again. But and Shadowlink, you're also saying here with your milestone chat, you're saying, I enjoy sending gifts. Here this community is awesome, and MBG, I enjoy the time you spend announcing them shows. You appreciate it. So you're saying you enjoy me thanking and shouting out the people who gift memberships. Yeah, man, I love doing it too, and it's not something I feel like like I get tired of doing it or anything. Definitely not, because it is a big deal, you know. I'm sure, as you guys see, we have streams where some people come in and they gift a lot of memberships, or everybody kind of chips in at one time, and we get to like these high numbers. And like I always tell you guys, like that stuff is what fuels the channel and keeps it alive. Like this channel is fan funded, straight up. Like, yeah, it runs ads and stuff, but believe me when I tell you, like, those ads are that, I don't know. YouTube seems to be having some issues with advertisers, and I hope they fix that. I mean, obviously, I hope they sort it out, but something's not going right between YouTube and advertisers. But, you know, it really is truly something I'm immensely grateful for, which is I am fan funded by you guys, by those of you. I know not everybody's able to, but for those who are able to support directly in any way, super chats, memberships, membership gifts, it really is the biggest difference maker. And holy crap, my son's about to bust through the door. He just scared the shit out of the cats. Oh, no, man. No, MBG Junior, you can't come in here right now. I'm not done. He scared the shit out of me, dude. He just slammed the door, and I was like, what was that? Funded by Microsoft. Yeah, funded by Microsoft. Yeah, dude, without fan support, I would have to go over to the Xbox side and sign a deal with Phil on a private jet. I would have to do the whole thing. So I appreciate you guys making sure that I don't have to. I'm just kidding, of course. I mean, obviously, I'm kidding, right? I'd like to think that's obvious. But, you know, I think Sony is going to close out the year with some kind of significant announcement. I do wonder if I assume Microsoft is as well. I'm excited for the Game Awards this year. I am. It's going to be a good time. It's the last show, obviously, until 2024, and I'm definitely going to be streaming it, but I did want to let you guys know I am going to be streaming this upcoming Monday as well. I'm probably going to go live a little bit earlier than normal so we can watch Jeff Keighley announce all the nominees, and we can react to that, talk about it. It'll be a good time. Resident Evil 9. Oh, yeah, I did see that being talked about recently. Resident Evil 9 would be an interesting reveal. That'd be a good one, for sure. I don't know, I don't know how excited I'll be for it, though. I liked Resident Evil Village, but not as much as I thought I would. And I don't know, I enjoyed Resident Evil 4 Remake immensely more than I enjoyed Village. I've been enjoying the Resident Evil remakes way more than Village. Or not just Village, but 7 was really good too, but I enjoyed 7 more than Village. So with GTA, I almost said GTA 9. Oh my God. With GTA 9, with Resident Evil 9, I'm going to have to see what they do with it before I get super excited. But either way, it'll be, I think, an interesting and, just an announcement I'll definitely pay close attention to. No doubt about it. GTA 9 will be in the grave. Yeah, probably. RU46 N2 Ray, longtime member for 26 months, says, what is the stronger IP, GTA or Call of Duty? Keep up the great content, MBG. Well, thank you. You're saying MBG Slipknot fired their former, I think you meant to say their drummer. Are you going to try out? You know what's really weird about you mentioning that? Well, first off, no, I'm not going to try out. What's really weird is the day we found out they fired their drummer, I think his name is Jay Weinberg, somebody made a joke that and I don't know, maybe the announcement happened as I was streaming and I just didn't know it, where they were like, oh, they mentioned something about me drumming, I don't know, 2 Slipknot or 4 Slipknot, and I was like, no, man, I'm not that skilled. And then I saw later that night that, oh, he just got kicked out of the band. They fired him. And I was like, that's really weird, because I haven't talked about Slipknot's drummer. I don't know if that I ever talked about him in particular on my channel, but it was just weird timing, that's all. But I'm glad you appreciate the content, man. What is the stronger IP, GTA or Call of Duty? GTA. No doubt about it. GTA is the stronger IP. Call of Duty is very strong as well. But Call of Duty is in order for Call of Duty to remain relevant, it has to constantly cycle in and out over and over. GTA, Call of Duty, I don't think will ever be able to achieve what GTA 6 is about to achieve. And it just can't. It can't unless Call of Duty went away for 10 years and then came back. Yeah, it is basically a sports title. I think Call of Duty is an incredibly strong IP. Very, very strong. But no, man, GTA, in my opinion, is the stronger IP just for the simple fact that it's scarce. I think its scarcity is what makes it more valuable inherently. But if Call of Duty went away for a long time abruptly and then came back like many years later and they're like, we're going to announce our new Call of Duty trailer. I mean, it's impossible to imagine, right? It sounds like an alternate universe. Like imagine an alternate universe where we got GTA every single year, just iterations of GTA every single year, and Call of Duty we only got once every like 10 years or something. You know, in that case, I would say Call of Duty is the more valuable IP. But I just think in terms of money making potential, I think GTA 6 has, again, I think GTA 6 has the potential with GTA Online to make more money over the next 10 years than Call of Duty. I think Call of Duty has the potential to lose a lot of money over the next 10 years because of how they stay relevant. You know what I mean? But that's just I mean, I could be wrong about that. Saying Call of Duty is worth more. Yeah, I guess it is. Yeah, I guess that's true. And I guess if we're talking about just that, and I don't know, I guess I'm looking at the value based on the long-term potential. I could be wrong. Maybe Call of Duty's long-term potential is greater than GTA's, but it's just seeing dude, witnessing the hype. Guys, let me go back to this. I'm going to go to Twitter again and check Rockstar's announcement, because at the beginning of the stream, or hours ago at this point, I told you guys that the announcement, it was 2 hours ago, it was at 66 million views. It's at 87 million views now. Just this single tweet saying that they're going to announce, or they're going to reveal the trailer in December. It went from 86 or 66 to 87 in just that amount of time. So I just, the potential here is off the charts as far as I can tell. And I just, like, I guess I'm trying to say, I don't know that there's anything Call of Duty could do to match that. I don't know. Maybe there is something they could do, but I'll be honest with you. When it comes to Call of Duty, man, I think they're running out of fuel. I think they're running out of ideas. I don't know what the future of Call of Duty looks like. They said that they have Call of Duties mapped out until like the year 2027. I find that kind of funny in a way, because it's like, well, I don't know what that looks like, because it's like, well, I don't know. I just feel it. Yeah. You're saying they ran out of ideas years ago. I think that's true, but I think like now they're really running out of ideas, because it's like the thing is, what Call of Duty has been doing for the past, I'd say 4 or 5 years, is going back to the well. Modern Warfare, more Black Ops, more Modern Warfare, more Black Ops. And it's like, dude, at some point you're going to have to do something more original. And there's a lot of risk in that. And if Call of Duty tries to do it, you know, they could have another Infinite Warfare situation where it's like, we're doing this new, different, spacey, futuristic Call of Duty, and everybody hates it, where they're like, what is this? You know, and that could be really hurtful to the brand and harmful to the brand. But I don't know. I'm of the mindset that Call of Duty could save itself in really simple ways. That, you know, they have like, so let's say in the year 2026, they actually experiment and they're like, we're going to do this third person Call of Duty set in World War I. I mean, it would be like, holy shit, that sounds insane. Like that, I would actually be very excited for that, because it's like, that sounds so different. A third person World War I shooter? That's Call of Duty this year? I mean, I feel like that would be guaranteed to fail, but it's like, it's about to fail. We're also releasing a Call of Duty Black Ops 2 remaster with the multiplayer. Boom. It's saved. You know, another year where Call of Duty saved. So, yeah, I don't know. They have a lot of games that they could remake and remaster still, and I think that would save them for a long time. But I don't know. I'm not. I've been looking into the new Call of Duty a little bit more. And it's so disappointing to see what they're doing this year with it, where like I noticed they're not showing zombies. Has anybody noticed that? Has anybody noticed that this new zombies mode that they keep talking about, like they won't really show much of it. Like they're being very like they're just not marketing it. And that like everything they're doing. Sorry, I don't know what the hell was that noise? Here we go again with the noises. It's the ghost of Call of Duty's past. It just seems like everything they're doing with this year's Call of Duty is just a major, major red flag to me, where it's like, I mean, maybe it makes sense where this is the year where Activision Blizzard is being sold and Bobby Kotick doesn't give a shit because he's about to leave, and Microsoft doesn't give a shit because it's like, well, it's out of our hands. You know, we're not well, I mean, technically they're responsible for this year's Call of Duty, but you know what I mean? Like they basically got Activision Blizzard and they got ownership of them a month before the game comes out. So it's like, I don't know, maybe it makes sense why Call of Duty seems to be a disaster this year. I'm not saying that means it will be a disaster next year. If anything, again, I expect next year's Call of Duty to be a lot better. Look, man, I am not against Call of Duty. There are people that are going to think that I'm against Call of Duty because Microsoft owns it now. No, like I've always had a fondness for Call of Duty and always have a soft spot for it because of my past with it. But I'm really interested, frankly, to see next year's Call of Duty because, again, it's Treyarch and they've had 4 years. 4 years to make this next Call of Duty game. I don't recall any year in the past 20 years that developers had 4 years of development time for a new Call of Duty. So I'm actually very interested to see what next year's ends up being. But beyond that, I have no idea. I don't think Sledgehammer's a great developer. I think Infinity Ward, I think they're good, but I think they're being asked to do too much. So, come on, man. Sorry about that. Leia was losing her mind again. But yeah, I don't know. A lot of people seem to be pretty let down by Call of Duty this year, and I can't blame them because I've been looking into it myself, and it's just like, well, you know what's weird is I think Call of Duty's always been very good every year with the FOMO. Do you guys agree with that? Unintended Studios, you're saying I seem to be in the minority, but I loved MW3. The open combat missions are my favorite change to the formula. The high-rise mission feels like a Metroidvania. Really? Well, I mean, hey, man, if you're enjoying it, you're enjoying it. You know, nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's why the game was made, right? It was meant to be enjoyed. But I feel like Call of Duty, the yearly cycle, has always been really good at creating the FOMO. Just this really intense fear of missing out, I think, for a lot of people. And what's really strange to me about this year's Call of Duty is that is like non-existent. And like that is a first. I don't recall a year for Call of Duty where the FOMO was not there. Where this is like the first time I'm seeing a lot of people just go, whatever, man. You know, that's a first, but we'll see. It'll probably still be the best selling game though, if I had to guess. Swagbag says, deep down after MW2, I feel like there's no need to buy COD again because it's all in Warzone. Yeah, I keep forgetting about Warzone too. I don't even know what's going on with Warzone. I never got into it. First Call of Duty release under Microsoft, and it's probably the worst Call of Duty yet. And that's just bad luck for Microsoft, dude. But I don't, dude, I'll tell you right now, Microsoft does not care. They don't. They're not, I don't think, I could be wrong, but I don't think Microsoft is expecting Call of Duty to really, I don't know. I don't know what their expectations are. I would say they probably knew what was going on with this game, and they were like, well, whatever. You're saying Warner Bros. Just tweeted about their gaming division? Give me just a second. I'll go check that out. We have the Contextual Gamer with a $5 super chat saying, I don't understand. Microsoft has been touting at least a year about Call of Duty, yet they did nothing about how MW3 represented them. They really didn't care. Yeah, that's a tough one, man, because on one hand, it is true that they gained ownership of this game and all of its development teams before its release, like about a month before its release. And they do have the power to make any decision they want. And one of the decisions they could have made is we're going to sell it for a cheaper price, or we're going to put it into Game Pass. Like that to me is the weirdest thing right now, is Microsoft hasn't announced Call of Duty. You know what? Hold on. I think they can't put this Call of Duty into Game Pass because of the contract that exists between Activision and Sony. This is the last year for the PlayStation marketing rights. Yeah, I forgot about that. So that explains why it can't go into Game Pass. So yeah, I mean, oh, you know what? That might extend. I do wonder if the fact that Sony has this contract, maybe this explains everything, where maybe in a way Microsoft can't touch this game. Like if they wanted to, maybe if they wanted to lower the price of it, maybe they couldn't, because it's like that affects Sony as well. You know what I mean? Like Sony has a contract where it's like, we're trying to sell $70 copies of this game on our store, and that's, we're going to get that. That's an assumption, but if it seems likely at this point, actually, and I think that does explain it, it's the contract that still exists. I think this is why Phil said, yeah, we're not going to talk about Activision until 2024. But I get what you're saying. And that's the thing. I say there's always a price to be paid. And that's the reality, I think, for Microsoft right now is, yeah, Microsoft did pay the literal price of $68 billion for Activision Blizzard, but this is what comes along with it, just like we saw with Redfall, right? I'm not saying they're necessarily the same thing, but, Microsoft bought Bethesda while a game like Redfall was being developed, and they decided to not cancel it, see it through, and it bit them in the ass, where it hurt them, and they had to take the fall for that. They had to fall on the knife. That's part of the price that you have to pay when you are, buying development teams and you're buying games that have been in development, and so it's just the way it goes. But I get what you're saying. To me, what's most disappointing at the end of the day is, and I'm not going to blame Microsoft for this, truthfully, because I don't see it as Microsoft's fault. I mean, if they do it this way next year or the year after that, then we'll blame Microsoft. But right now, what's really disappointing to me is Activision just, I get this sense that they just said, fuck it. Like I do. I get the sense that when they found out like they're going to get acquired, and it seems like, especially towards the end, like, yeah, this is going to happen. I think they just said, fuck it. I do. But it is what it is, man. I've seen people saying that they're enjoying this Call of Duty, and I'm not here to judge. I just get concerned sometimes. That's all, where it's like, well, fuck, man. Is this going to be the best selling game again? Because like, what kind of message is being sent right now? The Contextual Gamer, you're saying they made sure the last multi-plat game was trash. So when Microsoft takes it over, they officially make it mid. People will praise them. I mean, that's definitely conspiratorial, but it's a possibility. It is. Like, it could have been this kind of situation where they're like, yeah, this is a DLC, but if we make it full price, you know, it'll end the contract with I do wonder that too. Maybe it's because this was the only way to end that contract at the same time that that Microsoft was going to acquire them. Because if they did sell Modern Warfare 3 as a premium DLC, Sony would still have the contract for Sony for one more year because it's for a full game. Oh, dude, you know what? That's it. That's it right there. I didn't think about that. That's exactly what happened. They said, you know what? We want this contract with Sony to be over. So we're gonna make this. Yeah, it is. It's genius in the sense that it definitely makes sure that it's over. Sony's done. But on the other hand, it is like Microsoft and Activision do have to kind of eat that shit right now, where it's like, okay, but people are going to be pretty upset with us that we made this full price. But at the end of the day, dude, I understand why they take that bet. Because it is a little bit scummy, but I understand why they take that bet, because it's like they're probably banking on the fact that people are just not going to care like a month from now. And I don't think they're wrong. I think that it does, you talk about the value of Call of Duty. I think that part of the value of Call of Duty is the strength of its IP, right? Like this just strength of like, you can have a really bad year for Call of Duty and you'll weather that storm just fine. If you have multiple bad years, things might start to fall apart. But if they know that next year's Call of Duty is going to be good, which it should be, it's been in development for 4 years, I could understand why they take that bet. So it does kind of suck, but I guess looking at it from a more realist point of view and like why these decisions are made, that kind of makes sense. You're saying it's done in the music industry as well with multi-record deals. Sometimes the crappy album buying artists just to get out. Yeah. I've seen that. You're right. It is similar in that way. I've seen bands put out like the most random ass like compilations and like greatest hits where it's like, what? Like where it just didn't make sense. It's like, you guys are putting out a greatest hits album already. It's like, well, we just want to get out of here. So weird the way that stuff works, but I guess it's not weird, but it's weird to see the results of these contracts sometimes. But you're saying it's the same. It was a great game. It is a great game, and it'll always be a great game. No, I see. That's the thing, man. You're not wrong. That statement is correct. But it doesn't, in my opinion, it doesn't matter how great a game is in terms of its gameplay. Like, a great game is a great game is a great game. But if you're talking about, we want to keep you playing this game every day, every week, every month, every year. I mean, I think Call of Duty has found a kind of unique formula where it's like, we change it up just enough every year, where it may still kind of be the same thing at the core, but we change it enough to where it's like, you kind of don't notice, or at least a lot of people don't notice, or they don't care. It's not the same as a full-blown like Destiny 2, where it's like it's the same game literally year after year after year, where it's just being supported. But I do think with all of these games, no matter what, at the end of the day, it's like eventually it's going to end. That's inevitable. It's going to end. And when I say end, I just mean the day may come. It will come. It just, is it 3 years from now? Is it 13 years from now? It's impossible. Is it 23 years from now? We don't know when that day is going to come. But what we do know is that eventually people are going to ask the developers of Call of Duty to make a different type of game. You can call it Call of Duty, but you need to make an actual different type of game. That day will come. And it's inevitable. I don't make the rules. Maybe not. I think it's inevitable, but I don't know. As I say that, I also am reminded that Nintendo still makes the same type of games. The sport, maybe you're right, man. Maybe you're right. I guess all of this kind of stems from a part of me that would like to see them do that, truthfully. The one thing I am really hopeful about it would be great to see. I don't know that I'm hopeful, but it would be awesome to see is if Microsoft, like a couple years down the line, actually is like, you guys can do whatever you want now with, like, you can do something totally different with Call of Duty. You don't have to follow the same formula. It's okay. Right? Or maybe rather than changing the yearly release formula, they'll do like some kind of spin-off game or a different type of Call of Duty. That would be very interesting to me, because it's like, under Activision, that shit would never be allowed. Ever. Under any circumstance. So it's like, if Microsoft eventually is like, you guys can take the Call of Duty IP and do something different with it. Doesn't have to just be a first-person shooter that's about, with a obligatory, 6 to 8 hour campaign and obligatory zombies and the multiplayer, just something different. That would be very cool. I would actually I would give Microsoft a ton of credit if they did that. I just don't know how confident I am in something like that happening. But maybe in the future when the entire industry isn't as volatile and unstable. We have a Chubb Norris. What a name. He says, hope Sony and Sega team up for Skies of Arcadia 2. Damn. Maybe. Oh, speaking of Sega. Chubb, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Speaking of Sega, I really believed that the day I was streaming, you guys were telling me that Sega is making an $800 million AAA game. I thought you were joking. I didn't even look it up. I was like, yeah, that's a good joke, guys. That's pretty funny. It's fucking real. It's actually real. I was over here thinking, like, what? Is it April Fool's? What is going? Yeah, it is true. They're making some kind of super game, as I think they're calling it, with an $800 million budget. Dude, Sega's going to die. They're going to die. Is this like their cry for help or something? I couldn't believe it. I'm like, the whole industry out here is like, AAA games are getting too expensive to make. We can't keep up with it. Meanwhile, Sega. So how about that $800 million game? I'll tell you right now, if this game doesn't work, yeah, they might die. Like, I don't think they'll die like completely, but man, they will destroy themselves. You're saying Microsoft is funding it? Guys, is that true? See, that would explain it a lot better. That would make a lot more sense, but I didn't read anything about Microsoft funding it. Let them cook. I mean, dude, I'm very interested to see. Show me an $800 million AAA game from Sega. I want to see what that game looks like. I want to see what that game ends up looking like. And Wrench, dude, thank you so much, man, for the super sticker. Appreciate it, bud. You're saying there's some guy that says that's the game they partnered with Xbox for? Dude, Xbox would be kind of nuts. That's hard for me to believe, because why would Xbox give them an $800 million budget? Who would give them an $800 million budget? That's absurd. We have Brarios. Hopefully I'm saying your name correctly. Brarios decides he wants to re-up his membership today. He brings it back to Greatness Awaits. It looks like he has the 6-month badge. Brarios, thank you so much for that, man. Guys, let's get some W's in the chat for Brarios. It's very kind of you to do, man.
Thank you.
He brings us up to 3 members today. Oops, I accidentally put it to 4. I actually want to correct that. But thank you, man. All right, there we go. Fixed it. $800 million. What the hell? It is that is dangerous, man. I think no matter what, that's dangerous. Like, even if it's being funded by somebody else, I still think that's dangerous, because it's like, all right, here's some brief news. We have an update on Warner Brothers games. Okay, this is an official update on Warner Brothers games. This is being reported by Shinobi 602. Warner Brothers will focus on more live service games going forward. Our focus is on transforming our biggest franchises and largely console and PC based with 3 to 4 year release schedules to include more always on gameplay through live services, multi-platform, and free-to-play extensions with the goal to have more players spending more time. They don't say this, but they don't mention money, but they clearly say to have players spend more time and more money on more platforms. That's so funny, man. Let me read that quote one more time. With the goal to have more players spending more time on our platforms. Dude, come on, just say it. More time and more money on our platforms. Ultimately, we want to drive engagement. Oh, okay, they say it right here. And monetization of longer cycles at higher levels. We have put specific capabilities. I think that's a typo. We are currently under scale and see significant opportunity to generate greater post-purchase revenue. Well, I don't know, man. Like, what do you guys think? WB going all in on live service. Sony, now WB. I mean, I know that the gut I understand. The gut reaction here is sigh. This is depressing. Boo. And I get that. I feel that to a degree. You know, I'm still very worried about Sony, but I can't deny that I understand why. I can't deny it. Like, it's our fault, guys. And I'm not blaming me and you specifically. I just mean it's the market's fault, dude. Like, why do you think these publishers are doing this? It's because the market is speaking and they're saying, yes, we will spend all of our time and money on these specific games. And that's what they do, man. That's what they do. They find a live service game and that's where they stay. And you know, these publishers like Sony and WB and others are in this cycle of making these big high budget single player games where it's high risk, high reward, but high risk of failure. And if you do fail, you're going to feel it badly. It's really going to hurt you. But they're looking at these other successful live service games owned by these publishers are seeing how much annual revenue they're raking in from one game. And do you know why? Because this is what people are playing and what they're giving their money to. And I'm not here to judge anybody. If you buy skins, if you play these games, I'm not judging you. I'm over that at this point. I have my own opinions, but they're not really relevant to this conversation right now because the reality is people want to know why are publishers so obsessed with live service games? Because that's what the market is playing and spending their money on. Because of you, MBG, playing Dead by Daylight. Well, I do play a lot of Dead by Daylight. I won't lie to you. I'm getting very burnt out on it. I did see that they just announced Chucky, which is pretty cool, but I'm getting very burnt out on it. One of the main reasons I still play Dead by Daylight is because I play it with my wife, and I like us playing games together, you know, and that's one of her favorite games. And so, you know, but I've spent some money on Dead by Daylight, no doubt about it. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend to be holier than thou and like I don't engage in these live service games and I've never spent $1 on microtransactions. No, like I have played some live service games and I've paid for some microtransactions and DLC, no doubt about it. But I also buy all the single player games. You know, in fact, I've spent way more money on single player games than I have on any of these live service games. And that's also another reason why I don't have a problem with live service games because they can be good. They can be. Like there's a reason at the end of the day why you might have to ask yourself, well, okay, why do they want to make live service games? Because that's what people are playing and spending their money on. Okay, why are people playing it and spending their money on it? because they're kind of good. You know what I mean? I mean, like that. You know what I mean? Like even right now, like there are people on the internet tearing Call of Duty to shreds. But do you know how many people, if you were to ask them, yo, what are you playing right now? Or in a couple days when Call of Duty comes out, what are you playing right now? Oh, I'm playing Call of Duty. You like it? Yeah. You're having fun with it? Yeah. Yeah, I just bought that new skin or whatever. The new Nicki Minaj skin or whatever that. I think they put that in the game. The new Snoop Dogg skin. Yeah. What do you... I don't know what to say to that because it's like I would never in a million years spend money like that on that type of skin, but on a skin usually alone. But it's like, that's me. There are plenty of people out there that are and do, you know? And that's, you're saying dude said because they're good. What a joke. Listen, man, Brandon, I understand what you're saying. I'm not defending these games. I'm just telling you a fact that the reason why people play live service games is because they have good gameplay. I didn't say their monetization is good. I think that's where you might be getting confused. People play them because they have good gameplay. You cannot have a successful live service game with shitty gameplay. It's impossible. It's literally impossible. You can't do it. Why are people still playing Fortnite? Because it has good gameplay. It has good mechanics. Good gameplay is the foundation of any successful live service game. It's the monetization that people despise. And unfortunately, we can't do much about that because you know what the publishers have learned? The publishers have learned that what if we stop trying to monetize, make our monetization appealing to the hardcore gamer? What if we tried to make our monetization more appealing to the more casual gamer? That's exactly what they've done. And what the publishers have learned is that we don't need the hardcore gamers anymore. We don't. We just need to make gameplay that's fun for a broad audience, and then we can monetize that broad audience. And I understand the natural thing is we want to create a divide, and it's like, I blame the casuals. Guys, I've been blaming the casuals for like the past 10 years. But I've also realized that no amount of me blaming the casuals is going to stop this. It's not. So the next best thing, in my opinion, is, all right, this is going to happen. Live service games are going to persist. Casuals are going to continue to, spend money on in ways that they want to spend money that it seems like they're just encouraging a really kind of crazy monetization system. The publishers are not going to listen to me or people like me because they're making the money. So the next best thing is this, in my opinion. I got to put my money where my mouth is. And it's like, I'm not buying these $20 skins, but you know what I am buying? I'm buying the new single player game. I'm buying Alan Wake 2. I'm buying Spider-Man 2. I'm buying games like Hogwarts Legacy, right? I'm buying Final Fantasy 16. I'm buying these big AAA single player games. I'm paying full price for them, and I'm doing so day one because I need to at least continue to send the message that, okay, you can take their money, the casuals' money that are hooked on these live service games, which is fine because it is what it is, but please take my money too for this other thing that you're doing. And I just want to send the message like, enjoy the live service money and enjoy the player base and the engagement, but please also enjoy the money I'm giving you for this because this is what I enjoy. So like, in other words, please don't stop making this. I'll tell you right now, I'm going to be very careful with Sony's live service games about how much money I spend on them. If I spend any at all. I got to see the game. I got to question the gameplay. Is this going to actually have good gameplay? If it's free to play and they have $20 skins, I'll tell you right now, Sony, what kind of skins are you going to sell me in Concord for $20? I don't even know that you can sell me on Concord. First of all, let alone sell me a $20 skin. Dude, you better give me a straight up Jin Sakai fucking something in that game. Yeah, see, that's how they would get me. That's how they would get the hardcore PlayStation fans. Kratos with a gun, a Solid Snake skin. Yeah, they would get me that way. But it's like, that's probably not going to happen. Well, I mean, maybe a Kratos. I could see a Kratos skin or something. But even then, it's just like, I don't know, man. That sun's coming for me. It is, bro. It is. It's telling me, wrap it up, MBG. Wrap it up. Praise the sun. Ice Razo, I'm sorry, man. I missed your super chat. You're saying WB can not be sold until after April 2024. They're boosting sales price on this announcement. A lot of companies are lining to buy whole companies next year. Good point. Good point. You're right about that. This is something that can very much be seen as, sweetening the deal, so to speak. If there's a publisher out there interested, dude, they might be trying to make a play for Sony right now. Hey, Sony, we know you're trying to get into that live service. Hey, we're doing it too, and we got a bunch of super valuable IP. We got some talented studios, but are they talented live service studios? Would that be a horrible purchase for Sony? Probably, if it was in the name of live service. But you're definitely right about that, Ice. Something I didn't really consider. Look, man, I just don't feel like there's a point in going to war with I just don't think there's a point in going to war with live service. Well, because first of all, you're going to lose, and second of all, the only thing you really can do is just don't spend money on it or time. And if you're not interested in live service, you're already doing both of those things. So there's really no such thing as going to war with live service. It's just a matter of evaluating why live service, how live service, how did we get here? What is the cause? What is the solution? I'm telling you, my conclusion here is the only solution for people who are against live service games and feel like who, when live service, who, when, why, how. Bully the players that do. JK. Yeah, I see. I could never do that because it's like, dude, I just can't. I will have my frustrations and my moments, but at the end of the day, I can't sit here and tell somebody like, stop enjoying the thing you're enjoying. Because I'll tell you, I hate when people do that to me. I hate it. I fucking hate it. And I just can't bring myself to do that. I do it. I know I still do it occasionally, but I feel bad for it because it's like, it's not right. Let people enjoy what they want. It's not hurting. I mean, it's not hurting me, right? Like, they're not hurting anybody. It's just what they enjoy. And, we call them sheep, brain dead, zombies, whatever. But it's like, it doesn't matter, man. It doesn't matter. They if they have money and that's where they want to spend it, they'll spend it. And I'm not going to judge. I just want to find a viable solution here. And to me, the only real solution I have found is, all right, well, we have to continue to send a clear message to publishers that are making single player games that we support this. That if this is what you want to make, we want to play it and we will give you our money. This is why, guys, I still, no matter what, I don't know. I was considering putting this on a t-shirt or a mug. I was considering just making a mug or a t-shirt that just says, I buy video games. That's it. Like, that's what it says. Because I feel like we're reaching a point where that is like a relevant thing where it's like, do you buy video games or do you rent them? Because there's a big difference, at least at this point in time, in those two things. And I've always tried to encourage people. Yeah, nerd. I've always tried to encourage people, like, if you do care, you have to put at least a little bit of thought into where your money's going. And I know it's difficult, man. I understand. Times are tough for everybody, seemingly. Inflation's a bitch. You're gonna get a lot of people trying to sell you games. Yeah, I know, man. That would be the funny. Just like walking around in public with that shirt, be like, "Yo, you want to buy my games?" Like, no, I buy games, not your games. Saying you heard a lot of people having disdain for FIFA recently. Dan says I buy 5 battle passes every 3 months. What's wrong with me? You know what, man? I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know why you do that. I'm sorry. I don't know. Fortnite with microtransactions is more fun than Gollum. Yeah. Yeah. That's true. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on right now. Am I seeing some Kelsey Grammer hate right now in my chat? The dude, am I seeing some Kelsey Grammer hate in my chat? Surely I must be mistaken. Surely I must be mistaken, the dude. Ain't nobody in my chat gonna be hating. Okay, all right, you saved it. You're saying you love Frasier, but Him as Beast is awful. Okay, that's fine. I'm indifferent to Him as Beast. I like Kelsey Grammer a lot though. But you said you like Frasier, so it's like, okay, all right, you saved it. You turned it around, man. Oh hell no, dude! I love Kelsey Grammer. He's awesome. I'm watching the new Frasier reboot, and I mean, I don't know. I haven't been reading what people's opinions of the new Frasier show is, but I'm enjoying it. I do wish that they could have got Niles back. I forget Hyde Pierce. I forget the name of the actor who plays Niles, but I've been enjoying the Frasier reboot so much. I'm now rewatching regular Frasier, and goddamn, dude, I'm laughing my ass off watching this show. You're saying a reboot? What the F? I live under a rock. Yeah, it's on Paramount Plus. You know, of course they make you subscribe to it, but they did a reboot. It's a continuation of Frasier after, I think they did 11 seasons and it ended in 2004, and now they're bringing it back. David Hyde Pierce, yeah. It killed me. When I saw that they were doing the Frasier reboot and David Hyde Pierce, I forget why he didn't return. I think there was some kind of like dispute or something. And I hope they can work it out, man, because that crushed me. I was like, fuck, dude. You know, the actor John Mahoney, who played his father for the 11 seasons, he actually passed away. So obviously, you know, he passed away. You can't do anything about that. But it's like, you gotta get Niles back, man. You know what they did though in the reboot is they got his nephew. It's Niles and Daphne's son. And I think they did a pretty good job with the actor that they got to play his nephew, because he acts like Niles, like a combination of Niles and Daphne. And I was like, you know, that he's actually doing a pretty good job. I like what they did here, but man, it makes sitcoms great again. Another thing I have to mention here, talking about the trailer, or not the trailer, sorry, I'm just reading the chat, the Frasier reboot. It's only 10 episodes. Is that normal for like season 1? Because I remember like the other seasons of Frasier were 24 episodes. Married with Children was fantastic, yes. I know, man. Be wary, MBG. They're just going to cancel the reboot in 3 years. I'm afraid they're not even going to renew it. You're saying you love Daphne. Is she back? No, not yet. She's referenced, but they haven't actually brought her back. It's basically the only character they actually brought back was Frasier's son, but it's a new actor now because he's older. And I'm curious to see as I like keep watching if they bring back any of the other characters. Yeah, dude, Married with Children is such a classic. I love that show. I don't know, man. We'll have to. I just thought it was strange that they're only doing. I know, like today, it's common to do like 10 episodes per season for shows, especially on streaming services. But they're 20-minute episodes, so it's like I was really bummed out. Like 10 episodes, man. 10 20-minute episodes. I would have thought that they would have been like an hour long or something, or there would have been more episodes. But I'm also thinking maybe they just went with a shorter amount of episodes for season 1 because I don't know, they want to see how people respond to the reboot, if it flops or not. And then maybe if it succeeds and they do a season 2, maybe they'll have like 20 episodes or something, or 17. I don't know. I just think 10's not a lot. Yeah, dipping the toe in the water. I hope it succeeds because I enjoy it, man. Frasier's like my favorite show, I think, ever. I've just enjoyed it so much. And I don't know that the reboot is as good as the regular show. I don't think I feel like it's impossible for it to live up to it, but it's good, man. I am enjoying it thoroughly. I look forward to it. I think they release it every Thursday, new episode. Saying the back and forth with the dad and the kids is what made it good. It really was, man. Like I started rewatching season 1 and I watched like 2 or 3 episodes last night. I was laughing my ass off. I'm like, dude, I forgot how funny it was. It is genuinely very funny, very well written, very well acted. Great show. Yeah, I saw that they did it to the iCarly reboot. Oh, you know what? You know what's crazy? I saw on Twitter. I never watched iCarly, but I saw that apparently with the iCarly reboot, they made it more like adult-like because they're adults now and they made it more mature. And the last season before they canceled it, they ended the season on a major cliffhanger where it was finally going to show her mom or something. I was like, oh my God, you guys are fucking insane. Why would you do that to people? And then you just cancel it. Sorry. That's crazy. Kind of makes me glad I'm not into iCarly, man. Yes, apparently iCarly was rebooted. Also, guys, speaking of Paramount Plus, did you see they're releasing Good Burger 2? Good Burger 2. Holy shit. I mean, what's next, man? What's next? Drake and Josh. I watched some of that when I was younger. I never got too into it. You love Bulldog Briscoe. Dude, Bulldog was funny as hell. People are mad. Are they mad? Kenan and Kel. It was a good show. I enjoyed Kenan and Kel. Classic Nickelodeon days. Teen Nick, I think is what they called it, right? Anyway, went a little bit off track here, but appropriate time to do so because it's the end of the stream. Yes, the sun is coming for me, guys. It's close. It's close. I think this is where I'm going to end it, though. MVG loves orange soda. I like orange soda, kind of. It's not my first go-to. My favorite soda is root beer. I like cream soda. I actually have vanilla Coke in the fridge. I have some cans of vanilla Coke. And my wife really likes vanilla Coke. I like vanilla Coke too. But my go-to soda is root beer. I love root beer. I love it too. And I think my favorite root beer is A&W. Because A&W to me is like a perfect mix. It feels like it feels like it's kind of cream soda-ish, but still root beer, you know? The actor for Drake got into legal actions or trouble. Yeah, I think I saw something about that. Cherry Coke? Cherry Coke's good too. I think I do prefer vanilla over cherry though. Root beer floats, they are very good. I love root beer floats. I don't have them enough though. Probably shouldn't have. I don't know, man. I gotta watch myself. All right, guys. I think this is where we can end it though. I do appreciate everybody showing up. I'm going to segue to my outro now. And the one thing I'm going to ask you guys to do as you head out, please just hit that like button for me. It's a great way for you to just let me know you enjoy the streams and it helps out the streams. Before I go, though, we do have another $5 super chat from Navinzer. And he says, if a developer could make you a game, what would you want? A remake, a sequel, or anything? What would it be? I'll tell you exactly what I mean, this is the first thing that came to mind. And I think some people might think I'm insane because it's like, dude, you could have anything made. All right, here's what I would want. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if this bothers anybody because it's like, I'm sure everybody right now is like screaming like, you could have done this, you could have done that, but it is something Metal Gear related. I would love to see Konami and Kojima mend their relationship, and I would like to see Metal Gear Solid 6, except this is what Metal Gear Solid 6 is. You ready? Metal Gear Solid 6 is a complete reimagining of the original two original Metal Gear games, Metal Gear 1 and Metal Gear 2 with Zanzibar Land, and see what Kojima could do by just taking what he applied with MGS5 and just coming completely full circle. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, that to me, that would be the greatest way to end the Metal Gear series, where it comes completely full circle. And I feel like we got so close to that with MGS5, right? Because like MGS5 are the events that lead to the original Metal Gear. And you find out like Venom Snake is actually the big boss that Solid Snake fought originally. And I feel like this idea of next gen technology, taking everything he's learned through his entire career developing Metal Gear and just having that final send off of like, yeah, it maybe do it maybe bring back the Fox engine, but maybe do it in the Decima engine and bring it full circle where it's like, this is where it all started. Metal Gear 1, young Solid Snake, big boss, Outer Heaven, Zanzibar Land. I mean, it would be, sorry, I apologize if I spoiled anything, but I guess I got ahead of myself there. It doesn't matter though, because I don't think we're ever gonna see that, guys. I'll be honest with you. That's the pipe dream, right? That was basically a pipe dream. But yeah, combining those two games, redoing the bosses. I mean, I think that the original Metal Gear games are so old and a little bit silly, where I do think that they would have to, I think that they would have to, Kojima would have to rework some things and change some names, change some things. But man, that would be incredible. And I would be totally okay if Kojima did that and Konami, got involved. Obviously, they would have to because they own the Metal Gear IP. And this was like the true Metal Gear send-off, where it's like, this is the end of the Metal Gear series, and we're going to end it on the best possible note. That's kind of my dream. And so definitely a good question, Navinzer. There are many other games I would like to see with many other developers, but yeah, like Kojima finishing PT, of course, but Metal Gear is my all-time favorite series, man. And it'll always be sad to think about how it ended for Kojima and the Metal Gear fans and what Konami did. And I think Konami could redeem themselves by doing that, but that's never going to happen. Kojima said it himself, unfortunately. Kojima did confirm in one of his podcasts that he was very candid about it. He's like, I'm never going to be working with Konami again. And with any of it's over, like it's over. And I don't blame him. It is over. He's doing his own thing. But that's the dream, man. So I hope that answers your question, Navinzer. And I appreciate you throwing that super chat in at the end. I think that's a good place to end the stream. So yeah, guys, before I head out, again, just hit that like button for me. And I want to thank everybody for your continued support. I'm only able to do this thanks to you guys. I love doing. I know I've been pretty much doing full-time streaming now, and I know not everybody's happy about that, but I'm just trying to do what feels right for me and for the community here. And I love doing the streams. I love talking to you guys. It's genuinely a dream to be able to just kind of talk video games and talk about the industry. And so for everybody who super chatted today, we got mostly super chats. We did get 3 members as well. But for anybody who super chats, anybody who gifts memberships, anybody who becomes a member, You know who you are. Shout out to you guys. You are the sponsors of this channel. You make it possible, and I can't thank you enough. So I also want to give a shout out to Devil Shooter. He does the timestamps for all of the streams. If you see him with the timestamps, comment, give him a thank you, show him some love. I know he really appreciates it. So thank you for that, Devil Shooter. And yeah, that does it. Not too many topics today, but we'll see what the remainder of this week and the coming weeks ahead, we'll see what it brings. And that does it. So I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day. I have some other things I'm going to take care of and get done, and that does it. So, all right, until the next time, guys, take care.